Positive vibes, all of y'all. Happy Friday, and welcome to the WAN Show.
What the heck?
We've got a great show lined up for you guys today. The new Apple Mac Mini looks absolutely flipping outstanding to the point where I am starting to wonder, if you're a non-gamer, is there any other computer that matters?
I mean, you'll be able to play Cyberpunk on it soon.
That's a strong statement, I know. But I might end up standing behind it depending on how our testing of it goes.
Wow.
I'm open to having my opinions changed, but right now, I'm liking it a lot. We're also going to be talking about playing Minecraft with AI. That's right. AI company Decart, whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, they've released a playable AI model that was trained on Minecraft that allows you to play Minecraft without actually playing the game of Minecraft.
Wow.
No textures, no game engine, no nothing, just AI.
That sounds like the worst.
Well, we're going to try it.
All right.
We get to try it. It's playable in a browser.
Very playable? Doesn't it play it?
Oh, no, you play it.
Oh.
You'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. What else we got?
iFixit figured it out, and they have fixed McDonald's soft serve machine problem. So that's good if you want ice cream, and good if you care about right for repair for one particular extremely wealthy company. Also, multiple people did really cool things with hardware.
No. Okay, well, we'll get it. Okay, not
Beth.
the wealthy company thing. We'll get to that later. It actually matters a lot.
And we have someone who took, I can't find it here. Did it make it? Ah, yes, Spotify's car thing is saved.
The show is brought to you today by Manscaped, 1Password, and Squarespace. And of course, by our chair partner, Secret Lab, our laptop partner, LG, and our wrap partner, D-Brand. Let's jump right into our headline topic, which is, of course, the Apple Mac Mini with their new M4 processor. Apple began the week by announcing a new Mac every day to help keep the doctor away, I guess, right? Like, that's got to be the joke. Is that the joke? I hope so.
I guess so.
They began with the M4 iMac, followed by the redesigned Mac Mini and a refreshed lineup of MacBook Pros. In addition to the M4, Apple likewise announced the M4 Pro, which is available for the Mac Mini and MacBook Pro lineup, and the M4 Max. Sorry?
Not the iMac?
No, the iMac was only M1 last time around, if I recall correctly.
I wonder why.
I'm could be a little rusty on that, but if I recall correctly, it was only available because I don't know. It's just it's basically a screen with a basic computer in it, I think is kind of the idea. It's the Facebook surfing machine.
Sure.
People would probably give them a hard time if it did have a high-end processor in it because it would be priced so much for such a basic Facebook browsing machine. All right, anyway, hold on. And the M4 Max, and the M4 Max, which is only available in the MacBook Pros. Macs with an M4 Pro or Max will now have multiple Thunderbolt 5 ports rather than Thunderbolt 4, which I'm extremely excited about. We'll talk about in just a moment here. And for the first time, the newest generation of iMac will have support for 2 screens. All right, the Mac Mini, though, is the one that I want to talk about because some of the notes we didn't give them much time to work on the notes today, and unfortunately I really need to look at the doc here 1 second, or at my spreadsheet where I added the topic. M4, here we go. Nope, this is a previous week. Oh boy, we're off to a really good start today. Okay, the Mac Mini. Luke, let's go shopping.
Okay.
That's what I want to do for this segment.
All right.
So I'm going to be a Mac and you're going to be a PC.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to go on apple.com. I'm just going to pick another country or region.
Sorry, hold on. I blue screened.
Got him. So I'm going to go to the United States and you're going to go on PC Part Picker. Okay? Here we go. I'm going to shop for a Mac and you're going to try to build a PC for the same price as me. So for starters here, let's, here we go, Mac Mini, pre-order, let's have a look at the price that you're going to be looking at. So we're going to go with let's go with the starting Mac Mini.
Okay.
That comes in at $599 US, $600 US. So Luke, why don't you put together a pretty decent machine for $600 US? It's been a while since Luke has really,
shopped for
a computer because he's gotten them for free since he started here, which was like 12 years ago.
No, it was before then. Yeah.
I believe him. I believe in him. I believe that he can do it. And guys, chat, feel free to pitch in. Feel free to pitch in and give Luke some ideas for starting points for things like, CPU, if there's any...
And how much are motherboards?
Chipsets he should be looking at. Motherboards, man.
There's
Motherboards
so much.
Have spiked in a big way.
They kind of ruined this whole thing, to be honest.
You used to be able to get a pretty decent board for like $80 US, $90 US. Yeah. Like Canadian, you'd probably be looking at more like 115, 120.
What?
But now, like a decent motherboard, you're looking at like more like 120, 140 US, unless you're willing to make some compromises. There are lower end chipsets, but sometimes they can come with pretty bad compromises, especially if you want a machine that you're going to be able to kind of upgrade for a while, add more M.2 storage and stuff like that.
So wait, how much do I have? 600
You have $600 US, yeah. And you're on PC Part Picker. I believe that's in US by default.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Okay, so guys, feel free to pitch in. I don't see anyone trying to help you, which is a little discouraging. Get a 4090. Sure. Oh, man.
How much RAM does yours have?
Okay. Yeah. So,
can I know some specs on your side?
Absolutely. This is very exciting. For the first time, I think ever, Apple has finally acknowledged that the year is now 2020 plus, and they no longer are offering a base model machine with only 8 gigs of RAM. They have 16 gigs of RAM in that base model. So Luke, why don't you go ahead and find yourself a 16 gig? What are you doing? No, don't do that. Build a computer. Jeez. Okay, so find yourself a nice 16 gig kit of RAM.
Smaller too. Power button's in the right place.
Sorry, memory.
Okay, yeah.
16 gigs?
Yeah, you need 16 gigs of RAM to match the base model new Mac Mini.
PCs are a little bit too based, which is part of the problem, because they automatically assume you want 2 times 16.
Yeah, you've got filters. Right? You've got filters over on the left.
You don't need that. You just need even more RAM.
Yeah, I suppose so.
The problem with this whole contest is that we are lowering ourselves.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. But we're not actually competing. Just configure a computer, for crying out loud.
Are you a politician? You're too good at this.
This guy.
How much storage do you have?
Okay. That's where things do fall apart a little bit.
Assuming 1 terabyte?
I only get 256 gigs of storage.
Can I even select that?
I only get 256 gigs of storage. And that is a pretty frustrating thing that remains still about Apple's lineup, is how much they charge for really small amounts of storage. And what's especially frustrating about it for me is I know that a big part of why they're charging so much for it is that the sweet spot for price to capacity has moved past 256 gigs. So they're charging so much for it because it's just a terrible value on a component level to build such a tiny SSD these days. Mm-hmm. The sweet spot for capacity is probably more like in the 1 terabyte range now. With that said, I'm trying to think like how many dies would be on a 1 terabyte drive now. Is it 1 or 2 for the most part? I think it would be 2. I haven't looked that closely at them in the last probably year, so apparently you can do them with 1. Yeah, so that sweet spot is definitely more like in that 1 terabyte range. So you're basically just like wasting silicon to make 256 gig storage. So that's gonna kind of impede Luke because he's not gonna get a great deal on his SSD.
Yeah, it was $18.
Whereas if I start, that's pretty good.
It's not that bad.
That's still pretty good actually. Bad. So it looks like there's a really broad sweet spot these days then, because you'll probably pay. That's a bad deal. Because the thing is, there's a certain amount of cost that is just in the cost of making anything at all and shipping it and QAing it and developing it. So there's only so cheap that you can make something. That's why you can buy a hard drive, like a modern hard drive, for $250, and you can't buy one that is 1/20th the capacity for $12, because you still have to put a motor in it. You still have to ship it around the world. You still have to pay someone to assemble it. It's like there's just fixed costs that are associated with bringing a product to market at all. Okay, sorry, we're back on Luke's laptop. What do you got?
Do I need to buy an operating system?
Well, I mean, the Mac comes with one.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Well, but with that said, we have a video coming in a little while about how Windows doesn't necessarily, it can be obtained for a lot less than $120. So why don't you leave? You know what? I'm nothing if not gracious and benevolent.
Gracious and kind.
Yeah, so leave out the operating system.
This is where I'm at currently.
Take the operating system out. Okay, so we're going to Luke laptop. Okay, what do you got? What do you got? Walk us through it.
Ryzen 5 7600X, which is the first thing I chose, so I didn't really spec it in too much.
Okay.
One of the cheapest motherboards I could find.
Yep.
Ended up being MATX.
Yep. Okay.
16 gigs of acceptable RAM. A SSD that you shouldn't buy, to be completely honest, but it fits the storage thing of your side. A relatively cheap MATX case.
Yep, but like attractive.
But it's all right. It's not bad.
You're going up against Apple. You're going to have to have a reasonably, decent looking case.
Yeah,
it looks nice.
Like, so I didn't go for just a piece of junk. And I found one of the cheapest 600 watt power supplies I could find, which is overkill wattage wise, but I didn't really want to get like something super sketchy.
Something that Lucas would warn you is going to blow up.
Yeah, this one was decently rated. It's sort of okay. I don't know.
Sure. Okay.
And I've got a little bit more money to play with.
Yeah, you've got some more money to spend. With that said, you might have some things to kind of deal with here. Do you have Wi-Fi? Because I do.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you sure?
I think this board has it, actually.
Oh, I'd be pretty surprised at that price point.
Nope.
Okay, so you're probably going to need some Wi-Fi. Why don't you go get some Wi-Fi?
I can get Wi-Fi.
Okay, cool.
I also need a cooler.
No, that should come with a cooler.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you should be good to go.
So it looks like the Slim box.
Oh, shoot. Oh, that's a 7600. Yeah, you're going to need a cooler. Yep, you'll need a cooler. You'll need some Wi-Fi. I might have some other things to inform you that you're going to need, but why don't you go ahead and add those first and see how it goes for you?
Do I just get a cooler that I know won't fit in this case at all and just not worry about it?
No, I think you're probably going to need a cooler that fits in your case. Smart guy.
I could get something huge and it would be cool.
Yeah, you could just hot rod it. Let it stick out the side of the case.
I won't get something way too big, but I also just don't actually know what would fit in here.
I don't know. Maybe you guys can help him. Maybe you guys can help him a little bit. Like a low profile AM5, $55 for a Noctua cooler. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that. I think PC Part Picker has clearance.
I'm assume that this one fits.
Sure. You know what?
It's not mad at me.
Good enough. Okay, go find a Wi-Fi card.
Or do I just upgrade the motherboard?
You could upgrade to a motherboard with onboard Wi-Fi. Yeah, totally.
$100. Let's see if I bonk that out, what I can get.
He bonked it. You can filter by having Wi-Fi, I think.
This is only like $20-something more. Is there a Wi-Fi thing?
Probably. I would think so. They've got pretty good filters.
Onboard Ethernet, onboard video.
I believe.
Hey.
Look at that. Oh, yeah, you're going to need like pretty good Wi-Fi, by the way.
Your Wi-Fi 7 or what?
I'm just going to check real quick, but I think so. It's either that or 6E. You know what? I'll allow 6E, but I'm going to double check what kind of Wi-Fi I have. Ugh. I mean, Apple has its own issues with shopping. It doesn't even freaking say.
6E apparently.
6E. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you can have Wi-Fi 6E. Okay. What are you at? How you doing for pricing?
It saves me $10.
$560. Wow! PC is $40 ahead. You're going to need Thunderbolt.
Oh. Can I sort by that? I doubt this thing has.
I'll tell you what. I'll allow no Thunderbolt. But what you will need is some USB-C ports. You got any USB-C ports?
I think so. Does the case have any? That's not the right picture. Yep.
You've got USB-C?
At least one.
You've got at least one? Does your motherboard support it? Does it have a front header for USB-C?
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. What do you got? What do you got, Luke?
I'm trying to see.
Oh yeah, USB 3.2 Gen 1 headers.
Let's go.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. If that's the specs for the board there.
That is.
Wait, you have an ITX board?
Yeah, and now we have an M-ATX case. You're making me change things on the fly, my guy.
Well, look,
it's okay.
I'm just trying to help
the
you.
RAM still fits. Everything still technically
I'm
works.
just trying to help you beat me. You need a 10-core CPU. Language.
I didn't actually say a word. I just made a sound.
And if it's got to have Thunderbolt, then it needs to be Intel, right?
No,
No,
AMD
he gave me a pass on that
yeah,
one.
and USB
Okay.
4 is in some ways functionally the same.
Don't mention the graphics card. Shut up.
So, okay, where's your 10-core CPU at?
Hold on. Is there a core count? Yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, no. Other way around.
Yeah, technically every word is just a sound, so...
Hey, well, we don't need to get into technicalities over here.
Okay, so here we go.
See, I actually can't because I can only get better than that, unfortunately. Also, not all cores are made the same.
Your cores are going to need to be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to get into that.
Also, you're going to need a pretty decent GPU.
Okay.
Why don't you throw, just for the sake of argument, why don't you throw like a 3050? Why don't you throw a 3050 in there?
That's what you're saying is a pretty good GPU?
Well, it's onboard. You're gonna need what would be an extremely good onboard GPU. California 909 says 10-core ARM isn't the same as 10-core x86. California 909 needs to get caught up on some tech tips because ARM versus x86 is not the whole story. It's down to the actual design of the cores, and no, that is not the case.
Do we have to do the 10-core thing? Because there's actually just like not very many of those.
Tell you what. As long as you have a really solid 8-core CPU, okay, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Current gen. Yeah, you're not going to be able to use a 7000 series.
Wait, no, that's not current. Okay.
Now that he's working on labs, he's going to be such a liability on the WAN show. Oh, man. This is great.
Wait, so isn't that the processor that I had?
No, you had a 7000 series. You're going to need 9000 series, my guy.
Oh, but no one actually likes those.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You're going to need a...
They're not very good.
They're fast and efficient. I mean, I'm going to draw way less power than you even with 9000 series. Fine, as long as you got 8 cores, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
8 cores, I'll allow it.
I genuinely think that processor was fine.
All right. How you doing over there? Good gravy. Goodness gracious.
The GPU is really the problem.
I mean, the whole thing is really the problem. Now it's my turn to shop.
Does this thing have integrated graphics?
Now it's my turn to shop. Yeah, but like not good enough.
They don't compare?
Check this out. For $600, I'm getting a 10-core CPU, whatever 10-core GPU means. But their onboard GPU on M4 is quite nice. 16 gigs.
What if you make that storage a respectable amount?
Well, we'll get to that.
What happens to the competition then? Huh?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah?
First up, I'm getting 16 gigs of unified memory and 256 gigs of SSD storage, which, honestly speaking, I actually don't mind as much as them nerfing the RAM.
Oh.
Because as someone who's going to use a NAS anyway, and who doesn't need storage on my PC.
Honestly, we tried to roll out, sorry to cut you off, but we tried to roll out some new standardized laptops. Dan will know about this too, to the business team, and we got viciously screamed and yelled at by your employees because of not having enough RAM. No, they were fine. But 16 gigs of RAM, they didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Who? Sorry, what?
Business team capping out. Too many tabs.
Too many tabs.
So many Chrome tabs.
Too many tabs.
That is hilarious.
We've been through two or three laptops for some people because they have so many tabs that it just explodes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to my customizing my Mac Mini.
You need to configure your RAM up and your storage up.
Well, yeah, but you only have 16 gigs of RAM, so that would affect your budget too. Hold on, we'll get to it.
I suspect yours will go up more.
The point is, I don't mind the SSD that much because I'm using a NAS for storage anyway. All right, I got 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports. I have an HDMI port. I couple USB-C ports in addition to my Thunderbolt ports. Headphone jack, okay. Hold on. We're gonna get to RAM. We're gonna get to RAM in a second.
Those are expensive. I don't want to talk about this.
First of all, for my NAS, I'm gonna need 10 gig. And I don't really need Final Cut Pro or Logic Pro.
That's fair.
The point is, at the base configuration, this
good enough for most people
is an absolutely killer machine.
Yep.
Is the only thing that I think that I would recommend for like Grandpappy.
Oh yeah,
needs a computer.
Mac Minis have been killer for a long time, and this is honestly a very good jump.
Dude, there's definitely going to be some stuff for us to talk about in the review, like the fact that they put the power button on the bottom. It's like, why?
How often are you turning off your computer?
Why? Yeah, but who cares? Why? It's like
aesthetics.
Aesthetics. You know, they redesigned the mouse again, and they put the charger on the bottom again.
Is there an Apple logo on the top of it?
Again, they put the charger on the bottom.
I'm not surprised.
Again.
Is there an Apple logo on the top of the Mac Mini?
Like, it's just, here, we can see the whole gallery. Right.
They should have just made that the power button.
Look, and it should glow. It should glow like the old MacBooks.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Where am I going to put my coffee then?
Oh my goodness. Anyway, the point is that
I don't like that.
this thing is absolutely killer until the second you want to upgrade it. So this is where things do get a little bit more complicated. You can see
We're
that
back, baby.
the $800 configuration changes only that you get 256 gigs of storage.
Trash.
So for context, let's just fire up the old newegg.com. What would 256 gigs... Actually, you know what? No. Let's see what 2 terabytes of storage would cost me over on newegg.com.
Which is like, gotta be basically I wouldn't say a minimum, but like pretty normal these days.
For $154.
And that's a nice WD black drive. Like there's a cheaper Samsung one right below it.
And even that is
Western
a nice
Digital one is even cheaper.
Brand name drive.
Yeah.
That is a 990 Evo. That is a really nice.
I'm fairly certain for 2 terabytes you can get under $100.
That's a nice SSD. So Apple is literally charging an order of magnitude more than commodity SSD pricing for a storage upgrade. Oh, speaking of which, oh shoot, I forgot to have this added to the doc, but someone like hacked together Apple SSD upgrade harness or something. Oh no, I can't find it. If someone can find it, send it to me. But someone made a way to upgrade the SSDs in Macs, like some hardware hacker. And then things don't get much better. A mere 8 gigs of memory. Okay, so that appears to be the only upgrade, going from the $800 configuration to the $1,000 configuration. I get 8 more gigs of RAM. That will cost me another $200.
So go into the manual.
For context, here's 32 gigs of DDR5. Sorry. For context, here's 64 gigs of DDR5. Whoopsie doodles. For $200.
So go
Apple
into the...
just can't resist, Luke.
We don't need to do 64 gigs. Let's not.
They
wreck
can't
that
resist,
side too
brother.
hard. But let's go to 32 gigs on the Apple configurator and a 2 terabyte SSD. And how much does that cost?
All right. Let me start with my base configuration. So
because
you're going to make
the business team would not accept.
You're going to make me go all the way to
accept 16 gigs
and a 2 terabyte SSD.
And I think a 2 terabyte SSD is fair.
Just as a reminder, guys. Just as a reminder.
Oh my gosh.
We just spent, on Newegg for 64 gigs of memory and a 2 terabyte SSD. We just spent about $350. We went from a $600 machine buying half as much memory, and the same, and actually less storage, slightly less storage, because we had the 256 gig to start. We went from a $600 machine to an $1,800 computer. That's how they get you.
That's a rip right there.
That's how they get you. Apple gives you the first hit for cheap.
Now I can just get whatever I want.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have whatever you like.
Yeah.
So I think that our review of the M4 Mac Mini is going to be a little bit complicated because as a basic machine that kind of does 98% of what any non-gamer, so we're talking non-gamers, it'll probably do 98% of what 90+% of people would need. And it'll do it for a long time. Apple supports their products with software for a very long time. And that used to be a major strength for the PC platform, but I feel like it's actually been a little less. Things have been a little bumpy with trusted platform modules, with vulnerabilities that are only getting patched back a couple of generations.
Yeah.
You've got to give credit to Apple for the things that they do well. At that entry-level price, this thing absolutely slaps. But as soon as you start tweaking anything, Luke's sitting over here building an $1,800 computer right now, I guess.
I'm having fun.
Is that what you're working on? Okay,
yeah.
Well, let's see how you're doing over here.
I upgraded to a 7800 X3D.
Yeah.
I upgraded to a 4070.
Yeah.
I haven't changed the SSD or the RAM yet, but that honestly won't increase
can you
the
at
price
least,
much.
Okay, I think you owe Apple a motherboard with some USB 4 ports or something.
That's fair. Yeah. Let's do that.
if we're gonna be somewhat fair to Apple here.
Yeah, I barely even really started.
Yeah, people want to see a 4070 or something like that. Let's outperform this thing.
It was a 4070.
Oh, did you? No.
Yeah,
nice.
that was a 4070 in
nice.
there. Motherboard shopping. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's fine. Just use filters. You got this. He's got this. Not to mention that you're going to have all the PC, DIY PC benefits of, PCI Express slots that you can expand. And if you go AM5 in particular, which AMD has committed to support until I believe it's 2027, you may... sorry, I had something in my eye there. You may see future upgrades to the CPU that Luke has chosen, for example, that might offer measurable performance improvements, potentially, allegedly. What you got there? Did you find a motherboard?
I still need Thunderbolt, right?
No.
We're not doing that?
As long as you got USB 4 and you got a decent number of USB-C ports, I think
this board's
we can allow
actually
it.
pretty legit then, in regards to features.
Okay, all right, cool. Cool, what else you got? You got...
probably get a better cooler.
You could probably get more RAM if you wanted. What are you even at for your price?
These out. $1,360.
You're at $1,350. Wow.
Let's get 32 gigs of RAM. Why not? That seems pretty good.
All right.
It's less than $100, by the way.
I think we've made our point on this topic. We can move on.
I got a 4 terabyte drive just for fun. I'm still under your budget.
You got to rub it in like that, hey? All right, I see how it is.
I could get a sick Noctua cooler as well. Still be under budget.
Yeah, well, your computer's huge, so the Mac Mini is mini.
It
so
is
get
bigger.
wrecked.
It is.
Yeah,
bigger.
get wrecked.
Yeah.
Get wrecked. I win. I declare victory for Team Apple.
I unapologetically declare victory.
All right, what do you want to talk about next? Victory.
Let's do some of these modder things. This was a really cool week for modifications. Do you want to do the car thing or do you want to do the Steam Deck framework?
Yes.
All right, Steam Deck framework.
No, I wasn't answering your question. Okay, whatever. You pick what you like.
I picked one.
Okay, the Beth deck.
Yeah, this thing is really cool. Do you want to go for it?
No. Do it.
Modder Beth Lee. I'm going to go with Lee. Has designed her own gaming handheld built around a Framework 13 laptop mainboard.
If she worked on textiles instead of technology, she could be Bethlehem.
Bethlehem. Wow. Okay. All right. You're not going to ding him? All right, there we go.
Sorry, cool. I'm still in shock.
Yeah, that was intense. Yeah. Anyways, it's called the Beth
I'm trying
deck.
to show a picture, but we talked about this a little bit on the pre-show.
Dude, it's so
how
bad
impossible
these
it
days.
is to use the internet now. Okay.
It looks so cool. Oh my goodness. Anyways, they posted 3D print files for the handheld case to printables and designed it as a part of an ongoing competition on the site to make a cool Framework mainboard case. Included with the files is a list of necessary parts in the description. What? No way. That's awesome. Like screws and an 8-inch 900p touchscreen. All the listed parts apparently cost around $200 before shipping. But that doesn't include the Framework mainboard, the Framework battery, RAM, SSD, or a Wi-Fi card.
Those will add up.
You can get all that from Framework. The Beth deck is entirely solderless except for the listed speakers, but they don't actually recommend them because they sound like I pressed a button. I did the thing. I was a good boy. And are too powerful for the small handheld. They claimed that the whole thing can be assembled in about 15 minutes and disassembled in less than 2 minutes, or 0 if you try hard enough. There are some issues with the design aside from the speaker. The left joystick is a little bit sticky, apparently. The battery can overheat, and the power button flies off and out the window during disassembly. Due to these quirks and the design's popularity, they're releasing a 1.5 version on November 8th to fix the smaller problems. Beth is also designing a thinner and lighter 2.0 version, which will apparently feature a custom PCB for the controls and better speakers. Wow.
Dude, this is so sick.
It looks actually like really cool.
Investment disclosure, I'm invested in Framework. This is amazing.
Someone said try this for a short circuit video. That'd actually be kind of sick.
I don't know if that's a short circuit video, but
they said you make it in 20 minutes.
I mean,
the whole thing can be assembled in 15 minutes and it's solderless.
I guess theoretically, that's a lot of prep for a short circuit video, though.
That is true.
Sourcing everything and all that. So no promises that it would be short circuit, but I feel like I'd be kind of down to try it.
Could be fun on an LTT. I don't know.
The value proposition,
maybe not amazing,
not going to be great,
but that's also potentially true for frameworks.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying that.
Par for the course with highly repairable things sometimes.
Okay,
I think it's really awesome.
All right.
I think it's super cool. Great work, Beth. Keep it going. I love that they're like making a second revision and stuff.
Yeah,
like this is more interesting to me than just a Steam Deck. I don't know. Seems cool.
I mean, to be clear, there's still great things about the Steam Deck, SteamOS.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking awesome. This obviously doesn't have trackpads. The audio is tuned really well on the Steam Deck. It uses, especially the new OLED one, uses a beautiful OLED display with HDR. Like, let's be very clear. This is not the thing to buy if you just want a smooth, seamless, portable gaming experience.
But say you're in the Framework ecosystem, you're upgrading your laptop.
Sure. This is a pretty legit thing to do with your old motherboard.
That's so sick. Compared to what most old laptops get used for.
Yeah.
Like, either nothing or a very small, uncool task.
Dude, the number of like tech upgrade videos that we've done or offsite shoots that we've done in people's homes, basically, where their old tech is just
abandoned
in a bag somewhere, or behind a shelf somewhere, or whatever else.
What if you could turn it into a handheld gaming machine?
What if you could take it with you on the go?
So sick.
Very cool.
Do we want to talk about the other one?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
It's near the bottom of the dock, I think. Yeah, it's right above the sponsors. Spotify's car thing has, I would say, I watched this whole video. It was actually really good. I would say it's straight up saved. It says, is saved ? On the dock, but like, no, this is actually amazing. YouTuber Dammit Jeff released a video this week discussing custom firmware for Spotify's car thing, a $90 device. The music streaming company will be remotely bricking in 2 months.
By the way,
that's really stupid.
Yeah, not cool.
So before then, there's Desk Thing, a firmware that has its own companion app for your PC and that also has an app store for your car thing.
That is so cool.
There's Glance Thing, which in addition is still controlling Spotify playback. It allows you to add shortcuts to launch apps on your PC, similar to something like a Stream Deck.
That's super cool.
And then there's Nocturne, which isn't officially out yet and is the only firmware that managed to get the car thing's original features working, which is pretty cool. For now, it requires a host device for networking capabilities and whatnot. There's also other things you can do with it as well. Apparently, modders have determined car thing will still be moddable after the brick date as well, which is cool. And honestly, I would really just highly recommend watching the video. It's actually just really cool what they've done with it. Jeff or Dammit Jeff also goes over, as you can see, really cool ways to mount it and like 3D printed little things. Like he has two different ways that you can just mount it so it sits on your desk, and then there's that one where it's actually magnetically held there.
That is so cool.
So it's held under his monitor, but you can just pull it off and move it somewhere else. Really cool. I think it's magnetically held at least. But yeah, really awesome.
Come on, darn it.
Very cool video.
The preview doesn't show you. See, if I click a preview, my expectation is that it will take me to a frame that shows that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, you guys should watch the video anyway. Don't look at don't look at us looking at the video. Look at the video for yourself.
Fantastic video, really cool project. I thought it was so cool that I was like, hey, maybe I actually want one of these things.
And then you went on eBay, and found out that
they're like over twice as much as they originally were. What? Like our notes are like $90 device because it was. It was a $90 device.
Yeah, here we go.
It is no longer a $90 device.
Hot
it's now
auction.
Like a $300 device.
Spotify had no idea what they had.
What the heck,
They didn't know what they had.
Damn it, Jeff.
Oh, man. His username could not be more perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why we can't have nice broken things, Jeff.
You're fixing CPUs and motherboards. He's fixing car things.
Typical Jeffs.
Oh, it's all ruined.
Way to go, Jeffs. As a group, I don't condone you. I can't condone you. Damn it, Jeff.
But yeah, super, super cool.
All the Jeffs in chat apologizing. You should.
Literally mid-video, I paused it, opened up eBay, and was like, car thing. And I opened up eBay Canada and looked up car thing. And I was like, oh, they're just trying to scam people that don't know. I'll go to the American one. And it was just worse. I was like, what?
Yep.
Oh, man. Oh, well.
Anywho,
Okay.
it's time for us to explain merch messages. Yeah, we don't do super chats. We don't do Twitch bits. We do merch messages because of a combination of features on other platforms not actually working correctly. And also, we just think it's plain better. If you want to interact with the show, hey, why not throw money at your screen and, maybe producer Dan replies to you in the bottom here, or just post your message if you have a shout out, or maybe he forwards it to someone internally to get back to you. What?
A kill gun hand.
All right.
I don't know. Oh.
Or maybe he curates it and Luke and I respond. No matter what does or doesn't happen to your merch message, you will at least get your order in the mail. We've got all kinds of great stuff on LTTStore.com, including an exciting new product launch. That's right, my friends, it's here. The one, the only WAN Show corkboard.
Wow. Does it come with the pins?
No.
Oh.
You have to get your own pins.
Oh.
But we've had lots of pins. I asked the team, I was like, do we have any new pins to announce with it? And they were like, nope. And I was like,
oh, you could mount your pins there. That's cool.
Are you for real right now?
I mean, I don't have cork boards or am I a pin collector, so I didn't really put it together. But I didn't put together putting the LTT store pins.
You are for real right now.
No. Look. On the store, they don't use it that way.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, you could scroll down a little.
Do they end up using it that way? No. No, there's no examples of this.
Wait, shut up.
No.
Keep scrolling. Are there not more pictures?
That's all. This is the last one.
That's it? We didn't put any LTT pins on it in the pictures?
No.
Oh. Well, we've definitely done pin collections in the past. And
it's also not in the related products.
The inspiration for doing this was definitely for people to be able to put their LTT pins on them.
Well, maybe we can put a picture of that somewhere. Because I looked at this picture and I was like, oh yeah, that's neat.
Pins not included.
This is how I've used these types of things in the past. But I didn't think about it being like a collection thing.
I forgot we
like
sold
a Thanos
pins.
glove for
I blame Colton.
A Thanos glove for LTT store pins.
Artie, oof.
Anyway, Nothing shows. I'll read the thing. Nothing shows your passion for tech more than a snazzy new corkboard that lets people know you watch two big nerds talk about it for hours every week.
Yeah.
It comes with 6 push pins, which are already inserted into the side, and it is super easy to hang on your wall thanks to its 2 keyhole slots on the back, which conveniently we have put magnetic cable management power bar holders into because they will definitely work for that. But anyway, 2 little keyhole slots, so you can just throw a couple nails or screws in the wall, or you can use these and you can magnetically mount it, which would be super cool. What else we got to talk? It's 1 power bar key is already attached. You can available now at lmg.gg/corkboard. We've got a couple of other announcements. Floatplane November update. We have a packed November for our Floatplane members. For starters, we'll be dropping a new Why is WAN Late episode next Friday. It's a monthly behind the scenes of Linus and Luke's time after 4:30 p.m. every Friday. We will also have a new person week airing mid-late month. It's going to be Elijah Week. Don't expect any backflips, though. I have personally forbidden it. It is forbaded. Finally, we're asking our subscribers to send in questions for an Yvonne Q&A. This says, please click.
They should just do an Yvonne week.
Here. This is such a terrible picture of Yvonne. Hi, Floaties. We're planning on shooting an Yvonne Q&A. Leave your questions below. They may get answered. Good Lord, that is a lot of questions. It's been amazing. Remember we talked about that concept, Luke, of having like a hater wall, posting like comments about how Floatplane will never work and will always fail and whatever else, and like using it as inspiration for, Floatplane is definitely a thing. It's actually it's a great community. The comments and the interaction under the videos is like super positive most of the time. Anytime people are passionate about things, sometimes things can get a little bit heated, but it's a great...
In general, it's pretty good, though.
It's a great community, and we've got a great month coming up for you guys. And all you got to do is go to lmg.gg/floatplane to get subscribed, and you can submit questions for Sammy to go through and select. What else we got? Oh, okay. The last announcement before we do a couple of merch messages is our ex-partner Anker is once again... Oh, wait. Sorry, this post was deleted. Okay. Well, why'd they delete it?
That's weird.
I don't know. Apparently... Hold on. Someone says, no, it doesn't list me there. So maybe they finally removed it for real?
Yeah, I don't think it was in this slidey thing.
I'm going.
It was here.
That 19
It used to be next to
right
that.
.com.
Yeah.
Okay, all
So
right.
it probably got deleted because they updated it.
Maybe we're clear then. Okay, well, well, anyway, okay, good. Well, that's good then. All right, why don't we do a couple merch messages?
Sure.
Hit me.
Hey guys, Linus, have you seen the trailers for Clair Obscur Expedition 33?
What now?
As a fellow turn-based JRPG fan, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm super excited for it. Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
But that's
What
not
a
even
name,
that's
dude.
not on my radar
Here.
at all yet. What is this?
I don't know. It's coming in next year.
Okay, from who?
Interesting.
Multi-platform release. That's always nice to see. Cast reveal trailer. I mean, it definitely has a vibe so far, but no, this is the first that I'm hearing of it. So this might have to be something that I'll have to throw on my list. Reactive turn-based combat. Dodge, parry, and counter. Oh, okay, I mean that doesn't necessarily like mean that it's bad. I mean, Super Mario RPG has kind of
the reason why I reacted that way is when people say what the combat is and they don't show it, I always get suspicious.
I mean, it seems like it's pretty early.
It's made by Sandfall Interactive.
Sandfall. What are they known for?
Publisher Kepler Interactive. I have no idea.
Sandfall Interactive. Games list. What have you guys done before?
I think this might
This
be
is
the
it.
first one.
Oh, good luck, everyone.
Yeah. CTO comes from Ubisoft. CEO comes from Ubisoft. This is an Ubisoft splinter company.
Oh, okay.
As in people from Ubisoft left and made this. Not it is an Ubisoft company.
Well, hopefully they're the good people from Ubisoft, because they had to have gone somewhere.
My way too short video that I made was about how this is happening a lot now.
Yeah. And I mean, there is obviously a period of pain right now in the games industry.
Oh yeah.
But what I hope is that projects like this,
Totally.
companies like this, are wildly successful, and we see kind of the growth that comes after the volcano, you know? And to be clear, the people that are suffering in the layoffs and the upheaval, it's not fun for anyone. It's terrible. But if there was a good outcome that could happen, stuff like this and the success of stuff like this would be it.
Yeah, I recognize the CEO's name, so I'm trying to look up what they've done. And my Google Foo is failing right now, but I recognize the CEO's name. And yeah, I mean, I hope it does well. I am hoping for basically any of these companies where people split off from one of these big developers that are failing pretty hard right now, and they try to make something themselves. I have big hopes for all of them. So I hope this one works out as well. Yeah.
All right.
One more?
Hit me, Dan.
Sure. Third-time buyer, first-time messenger. Did you see Jeff Geerling's video on the LTT precision screwdriver, and how well did you enjoy it?
I did see his video.
Did you watch it?
I watched pieces of it. Like I watched the sections that I thought were most relevant. I didn't watch like the fidget spinner bit.
Fair enough.
It seemed pretty long.
I think he's just having fun with it, but yeah, I agree.
I think that... how do I put this? I think that it's ultimately up to every individual user what features of a product benefit them the most. I didn't really fully understand some of the preferences. Like as someone who has worked on small electronics a fair bit over the years, be they laptops or phones or game consoles or controllers or whatever the case may be, I don't see a clear benefit to having a longer hex portion of the bit, whereas I do see a very clear benefit to having a longer blade portion of a bit, because it happens so often that plastic housings will leave a screw deeply recessed, and having a longer blade for me means I'll be reaching for the dedicated precision fixed drivers a lot less often than I otherwise would have to. I was a little confused that more
Well, he compared it against their plastic one when they have a metal one, right?
Yeah.
That was the main thing that stood out to me.
I don't... yes.
And their metal one doesn't have the bit storage, so I think he might have gone from a feature standpoint, so he went bit storage against bit storage instead of metal premium driver versus metal premium driver. I don't know.
Something that, like to me as someone who has used a precision screwdriver a lot, something that would have been apparent to me very immediately about our driver is the superior magnetic strength compared to other precision drivers. It's one of those little things that we don't cheap out on, that, or I shouldn't even say don't cheap out on, because having a magnet at all means you didn't cheap out on the design, in my opinion. But that we spent extra time and we spent extra money to ensure that it was a really good experience. It's one of those things that we do that should be, again, pretty immediately apparent, but didn't really seem to draw much attention. So I don't know. I mean, look, the reality of it is, obviously, I think our product is great, or I never would have greenlit the release of it. So you can't really take my opinion. And as I always say, you should get multiple.
Yes.
You should take multiple opinions anytime you're looking to buy a product. So whether it's reviews on our site or whether it's, other creators that we sent creator editions out to, all we ask for is the possibility that they will maybe consider talking about it with their own authentic voice and their own honest opinions. And so, yeah, that what that means is that every once in a while, we're going to send out a driver and someone's going to like it a lot. And every once in a while, we're going to send out a driver and someone's not going to like it that much. And that's how it works.
So as far as my understanding goes, the cheaper one that has bit storage, the cap doesn't spin, so you don't have that palm turn.
I think it spins a little, but not much. Not well.
I haven't used it directly, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting.
All right. What are we doing next?
The comments on that video are pretty intense.
I have no comment on the comments.
Have you read the comments?
U.S. judges are using algorithmic tools just kind of whenever they feel like it. Original article here is from The Verge, and both it and actually, speaking of comments, the comment section on that video, on that article, are worth having a look at, because there's kind of an interesting debate, and what side of the debate you land on, I guess, can be up to you to kind of see how you feel about it. But I think it's really worth a read. Dan, if you don't mind throwing the link to the Verge article into the various chats, I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Sure thing.
But here's kind of the gist of it. An always time-strapped court system in the US is increasingly turning to risk assessment algorithms as a way of guiding a judge's decision for whether to grant bail. So a bailiff inputs the file information, and then the algorithm checks a vast database of past cases and assigns a score, low, medium, or high, or a number on a scale. And this system basically is supposed to algorithmically suggest what the risk of reoffense might be. These systems are intended to reduce the impact of personal bias from a judge, but there's a lot of questions about how well that's actually working. A recent study published in Social Problems found that judges report accepting or refusing the advice of these algorithmic tools selectively for their own human, potentially biased reasons. Judges reported using these tools to quickly process lower stakes cases, even when they weren't confident in the output that was provided. So basically, it's an algorithmic armor. It's like it's a shield against making a bad judgment call by just kind of going, oh, well, the algorithm said.
Imagine your algorithmic armor had LTT pins on it.
However, they also admitted that they were leery of accepting low scores in cases of domestic violence, for example, or other more intimate crimes, due to not trusting the weighing of the algorithm, and also due to concern over their own reputations. To be clear, I 100% agree that in a case of an intimate crime or domestic violence, they should be erring on the side of high risk of reoffense, not necessarily because the risk of reoffense is necessarily higher, but because the stakes are so high. If the risk of reoffense for shoplifting a pack of gum is high, that I don't care. Whereas if the risk of reoffense of, assault with a deadly weapon against your spouse is low,
vehicular manslaughter,
I'll take a 99% risk of reoffense for the gum over a 3% risk of reoffense for spousal assault. I get it. I just mean you don't get to selectively decide if the algorithm works or not based on your own feeling in the moment, because that's basically just your own feeling in the moment with extra steps. Mm-hmm. The judges reported using the apparent authority of these systems to defend unpopular decisions as well. All in all, the judges were using their own moral views as a ruler to determine whether or not the algorithm was legitimate and would shift how they felt about it from case to case. Other studies have raised questions about how accurate this system is at predicting whether a given prisoner will reoffend, because they have found garbage in, garbage out problems where biased training data would cause certain demographics to be rated as more likely to reoffend, even when the individual in question doesn't have a significant past criminal history.
The demographics are included?
In theory, no. But the problem with any algorithmic system, AI included, is that if you tell it, hey, you can't factor in race, for example, it will find proxies like
location,
the area you live, or your income. Yeah. So, dystopia.
Yeah.
Dystopiocracy. That's going to be...
But hey, you won't have to pay
movie.
as much taxes because you won't have to pay the judges for as many hours?
Yeah, I guess.
Until they just press that button and then sit in the office and sit on
Judge
the phone.
Dredd?
It is super amazing how easily dismantled the whole taxes or theft argument is.
Oh boy.
And how quickly people change their tune if the public resources available to them that they need are not there because they didn't pay for them.
Oh, yeah.
Luke, our taxi's here if you want to get going.
All right.
With that said, I am 100% angry, as everyone should be, about the way my tax dollars are wasted. They are not efficiently used.
Oh, yeah.
But whether taxes as a concept...
Dude...
should exist. It's like, well, yeah, but the problem is corruption.
I told you the whole, was it invasive deer, I think it was, on that one island? Have I told you this story?
The invasive deer? Sorry, what now?
Let me try to find this up. Look this up. Hold on. Invasive deer, BC Island, helicopter sniper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you told me about this. Okay, all right.
Tax dollars are spent extremely well. There are no problems with tax dollars. Tax dollars are fine. We need to get rid of some invasive deer that the hunters would really, really like to go after, to the point where they would pay you to take these deer out.
So why don't we spend over $750,000?
Let's get some Americans to come up over the border, bring a helicopter, and go hunting with sniper rifles in the air to take out 84 deer, and let's spend almost $1 million on it. Let's go!
Trig says that's only $10,000 a deer, Luke.
Isn't it like the emu war in the Australia?
That was a little bit more real. They deployed the army. That was
and still lost.
Yeah.
This is 84 deer, dude. That hunters used to just hunt for them.
Please.
And it was fine.
Don't bring this up again. It makes me irrationally angry.
Pay. You could gain tax dollars. Instead, you spent them.
As someone who pays a lot of fucking taxes, I promise you that this makes me far more angry than my currently calm, composed demeanor would suggest.
It's so I can't, it actually hurts my, look, hold on, sorry. The cost of the first phase, which includes the helicopter and marksman from the US and New Zealand, for some reason, is about $834,000. It's about that much, and that's only the first phase. The eradication is part of a nearly $6 million multi-year project to restore the land. Okay, that's cool. Sick.
Meanwhile, do you know what's going on in Surrey schools?
No.
Instead of having a fixed school day, like, 8:30 to 3 p.m. or whatever.
I've heard about this.
They have staggered school days. So some students and therefore teachers start earlier and end earlier, and some start later and end later. vastly extending the potential school day, making after-school care and after-school like activity planning for parents
Just, like,
a flippin'
impossible.
nightmare. Not to mention inconveniencing teachers who...
What if you're on the high school basketball team?
Anyone...
The school that you're playing against does late hours, and your school does early hours.
It's student by student.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so you might... and this is because we don't have enough capacity. It's a whole thing. Yeah, basically, I don't have to explain this. People in the chat are picking up what I'm throwing down pretty quick here. It's a nightmare. But thank the maker, we got rid of those deer. And to be clear, this is Parks Canada, this is federal, this is provincial and municipal. It's not actually necessarily the same coffers that were robbed to go on a little shooting expedition. You gotta assume that. You know, like someone was buddies with someone to get the assignment to go. People, do you know how much people would pay to go helicopter deer hunting?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
You could turn this into a tourist attraction.
Turn it into a huge event.
The number of millions of dollars of tourism dollars that you could generate for the province by just making this a tourist attraction over the next few years. You're spending $6 million? Are you kidding me?
Just tell the hunters of North America, because I'm sure people would travel for this. Hey, we'll give you $100 a deer, and you don't have to pay us anything.
Dude.
No, you know why they shouldn't do that.
Problem entirely. Oh,
you know why they're not supposed to do that.
Viperheads.
Snake rats, yeah.
Yeah. You know that whole
But
thing?
if you only gave a license to the parks, like only people who can kill these deer are sanctioned by us, and all of them have to be accounted for, maybe that saves it.
Maybe that would be fine.
But if you pay per head, then yeah, no.
Viper head argument. Let me see if I can find this.
I haven't heard of this. We're about to get a lesson.
I also know it as rats. I think it's
I've heard this story a bunch of times. I don't know if any of them are actually like...
might be snakes. I don't know what it is. The original one.
I don't remember exactly. Oh! Yeah, Viper as in snakes.
Yeah, I think the snakes was the original one, yeah.
I don't know. Either way. Cobra heads, that's it. Not vipers. Yeah, cobra heads. Indian cobra head problem. So the government wanted to get rid of, or the local government or whatever, wanted to get, I might say this slightly wrong, I'm sorry. They wanted to get rid of cobras.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, well, we'll put a bounty on cobra heads.
Yeah.
So if people find a cobra and they kill the cobra, they can hand in the cobra head and they make money.
What if they put it in a Romanian jail?
Cobra. Okay, I got you. That's pretty good. But people just started breeding cobras so they could farm cobra heads.
Got it.
And then you don't forget the end bit.
Okay, so apparently last year locals culled 2,000 deer at no cost. And apparently 25% of the 84 deer that were culled were actually local non-invasive deer.
Oh, great. Probably because they were up in a helicopter.
Yeah.
Trying to identify a particular species of deer.
Yeah. It's actually like it actually causes me physical pain. I believe the world is worse and humans are worse for it, having known that story.
Cool.
The Cobra Head story depresses me a lot less.
You got to finish the
than
Cobra Head story.
And it's
you
very
finish
clear.
It.
Didn't I finish it?
No, there's an end part as well. Because everybody's been breeding these cobras, and then the government goes, oh, people are breeding them, and then they get rid of the bounty, and then they just release all of the cobras. So now it's even worse than before.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd just kill them.
No, but like, you got to keep, like, why would I bother now? Those snakes are gross.
Well, yeah, but I honestly, I would think it's like kind of a hassle to release a cobra.
I'm assuming it was...
Because you'd have to be near it, or something.
No, just open
dump
it
it
off,
off,
toss it out the window.
Yeah, dump it off a building.
Yeah,
I guess. But like, wouldn't it be easier to just not do anything and just like let it die? Like, I don't know.
I feel like it's a bit of a protest. Give us our bounty back.
I could see
Because at that point, it's a business for people, right?
Yeah, I could see
You ruined
that.
my business.
Yeah, I could see
put
that.
them on planes. Thanks, Travis.
Also, the quotes about the 2,000 deer, whatever, that was from Creator Warehouse Sebastian. I don't know if I mentioned that or not.
All right. Thanks, Sebastian.
Yeah, I just like... My goodness. I don't know how we got onto that topic.
Let's talk about sponsors. Let's talk about our business.
Yeah.
Like from Manscaped. You might be drooling over the turkey on the dinner table, but don't forget, there's one other bird that really needs some attention. Where are we going with this?
I get it. Okay.
Our sponsor, Manscaped, is here to tidy up the bird's nest. Check out their Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It includes the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra for some below-the-belt trimming with its 2 interchangeable blades, and the Weed Whacker 2.0 for your ears and nose. It even comes with their Crop Soother and Crop Preserver lotions for your after-cut care. To make it even better, Manscaped includes their Boxers 2.0 and Shed 2.0 travel bag for free. Make sure your grooming isn't forgotten this season by checking out the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra at manscaped.com/WAN Show. Just make sure when you do, you use code WAN Show to get 20% off and free shipping. Huh. The show is also brought to you by 1Password. This is Dennis, working from home, logging in from his personal laptop, using a random app our IT team has never heard of. Little does he know, that could be where our next security incident happens. Oh. But that's the reality of today's workplace. With remote setups, personal devices, and unknown apps popping up everywhere, there are more security gaps than ever. That's where our sponsor, 1Password Extended Access Management, comes in. It brings all those unmanaged devices, apps, and identities under control, ensuring strong and protected user credentials, known devices, and visible apps. 1Password Extended Access Management addresses issues that traditional IAM and MDM can't handle, and it's available now for companies with Okta and Microsoft Entra, and is in beta for Google Workspace customers. Check it out at 1password.com/WANShow. Okta or Okta? Never heard it out loud.
Okta, if I remember correctly. So many of these things, people get pissed when you pronounce them wrong, but then I only ever see them written. So it's like, I don't know.
Nice. Okta, people say.
Okta, yeah. I thought so, yeah.
Arbiter K says, it's pronounced, quote, OKTA, end quote. Thank you, very useful. The show is also brought to you by Squarespace. Let's come back to Dennis's scenario for a moment. Let's say he's working from home, but during work hours. He wants to build an online portfolio for a job interview. Wait, what? Why is he doing that during work hours? To save time and boost his chances, he should probably use our sponsor, Squarespace. It's an all-in-one website platform that uses AI to help anyone build a beautiful, personalized website with ease. They offer a variety of award-winning templates, helping you get your site up and running quickly. If you have an online business, you can send invoices and accept payments from your clients through debit, credit, ACH, and more. Plus, with Squarespace, you get access to analytics so you can track your site's performance and see what works best for your business. Squarespace is easy to use, which is why we use it for our site too. We actually have a redesign coming that is a lot more modern. I'm embarrassed we show this still, but anyway. The point is, you can also pick from tons of domain names with built-in privacy and security. So start building your website today and receive 10% off your purchase by visiting squarespace.com/LTT. Why don't we do a merch message?
If you want, yeah, sure.
Are people enjoying the corkboard? It seems like a weird. It seems like a weird thing to.
Yeah, if only we sold pins.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What a weird, unexpected, unique use case.
You never know. You know, when you develop a product, you know, if it'll ever make it to the finish line, if people will like it. Oh, people like corkboards. Okay,
Speaking of the scenario that Dennis just gave us.
Yes.
If you were interviewing someone, you're not the interviewee, you're the interviewer.
Yeah.
And they show up on camera, you know, you do the webcam thing. Yeah. Oh, this is a remote interview, to be clear.
Yeah.
They show up on camera, they're in the webcam thing. You can tell they're in the office.
Like at work.
And they booked a meeting room.
Yeah, it's a bad vibe for me.
It's a bad vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, that puts me, because it's like, I don't know, it's like meeting your new man when he's still with her. You know? And I'm not saying that you should have the kind of loyalty to an employer that you would have to a significant other. Definitely not. But
yeah,
it's not a good vibe, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, have the class to, like, you know, be somewhere else. Schedule it for a time when you aren't, you know, clearly.
What if you can tell?
Yeah.
that they're like in their car.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
So they might even still be like, they basically just went outside.
Yeah. Flappy here says it might be their lunch, in which case it should be no problem for them to step out.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because they're technically using, like they're in a meeting room. Like they're using company property.
Yep. Which maybe
it was a rental office.
I doubt it.
No. I understand what they're saying. It could also be a co-work space.
Yeah.
But usually you can tell.
Yep.
Most office spaces I've seen this happen in. Usually you can tell. There's like signage in the background, or there's the name of the meeting room on the wall,
Dan,
or whatever else.
We've got a segment for next week's WAN show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do a tier list. We are going to rank places that people are calling us from. Oh. So, Dan, how's the merch message load this week? Do you have a little bit of time to keep an eye on the chat for a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you want to kind of put them together, and we're gonna do a tier list next week. And so, guys, if you want to hit up the Floatplane chat for Dan, and he can kind of take some of the good suggestions that he sees, and then next week, Luke and I will rank. And we can have some, honorable mentions for ones that are funny.
Sure.
But in all seriousness, let's rank how good of a foot it puts forward for locations that what you would think when I think this will be kind of fun. If we could have a board that, if it's possible, allows me and Luke to rank things on our own without seeing each other's answers. I don't know. We'll find a fun way to do it. But
you could just take that metal board Sammy had and just like tape a foam thing in the middle of it.
Yeah, something like that would probably work fine. Crazy. And then if we just had like little printout magnets or labels, we could even just have labels. They don't even have to be magnetic. We just peel them off after the show. But we could just put them on just with the words. That'd be kind of fun.
When I hired Yuki, when I called him to offer him the job effectively, he was making sushi at the time, and for the entire duration of that conversation he did not stop making sushi.
That's kind of Chad.
It was pretty sick. I remember when I finally hung up, I was like, all right,
multitasking.
Yeah.
You know about the swastika that Dennis had on his wall, right, during his interview? Dennis Liao.
Yeah, no, this actually now rings a bell. But you didn't know what it was?
No, he was at a protest. He was protesting a policy that the sign, because I couldn't read the sign because it was in Chinese. So the sign was like, this policy is like Nazism.
Yeah, I remember this now.
Yeah. But I had to ask.
Yeah. What's that?
Because back then, that kind of stuff hadn't made its way into mainstream acceptance again yet.
I don't know if it's acceptance.
Depends where you go.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, so I definitely had to ask. But yeah, he was like, oh, no, no. It was either a swastika or it was a picture of Hitler. I can't remember. But either way, it was not a good first impression.
How many of these do you want? I have 31 now.
I think that's more than enough. Why don't we do another merch message?
Yeah, sure. Give me 1 sec. Okie dokie. Merch messages. Hi, Linus and Luke. I have a question for you both.
Okay.
Me and a friend have worked on building a game for...
A friend and I. You're welcome. Your grammar has now been corrected, and thank you for sending in your merch message.
I was going to correct them for them, and I thought I wouldn't. They've been building a game for 7,000 hours. How do we know when it's ready for public beta?
Can you relate? 10,000 hours.
What do you even...
That's a base level of a skill, right?
What?
10,000 hours?
I mean, that's not what they're asking. Like milestone-wise.
About 6,990 hours ago, to be perfectly honest. Fail fast, fail early. Is your game fun? No one's played it. Come on.
Both of you are being supremely unhelpful right now. Supremely.
Now, do it right now.
Yeah, what do you want? Do now.
Unless it's in alpha and it has been for a while and it's like actually all together. And
Send it to us now.
Yeah,
Let us test it on the
I
show.
want to play on WAN Show. Yeah. Where's my key?
Yeah.
I'm an influencer. I'll give you a shout out to my 75 followers. If for public beta, I mean, you can do rolling betas with Steam now.
I would try to get some friends that you can trust to not puffery you, and see if they actually have fun with the game. And if they actually have fun with the game, then yeah, do a public test or do something else.
Yeah, if it's in private alpha or private beta, go public beta, do it in small rollouts.
As far as my understanding goes, it's pretty common in the indie small-time game developer kind of space thing for people to pass their stuff back and forth and get feedback from each other and do things that way as well. So maybe join like a forum or a Discord, probably a Discord these days, and see if there's people that are interested and willing to do a little play test of your game. Do that. Test the waters. Because there might be something that like you and the person that you're working on it with think is just fine because you've done it a trillion times, but then someone with a new perspective might run into it and be like, I don't get this. Yeah, and it might be fairly easy to fix. So I would do it that way first, and then try to hit it with something else.
Or you have to redesign the entire thing, which happens a lot too. Something that you were okay with, nobody seems to be okay with. Genesis
says that's been a source of hacking too. Yeah, of course. Any time that there's file sharing in any community, it's a source of hacking. You can open it in some type of secure system, whatever. Doesn't pirate software help with this kind of thing? I have no idea. That sounds like it would be an incredible amount of work, considering the size of creator that he is.
All right, hit us with one more, Dan.
Hey, you guys did a sponsored video on sleep buds.
Sure did.
How are they? Are you still using them? Also saw the announcement video has 21 million views. Insane for a product launch like this.
All right, a couple things here. So first of all, even in a sponsored video, I won't say anything that I do not genuinely believe. First of all, it's against FTC guidelines. Second of all, it would completely nuke my credibility. That doesn't mean I've never said anything that has turned out to not be true. But what I do make a point of is separating things that are talking points from the brand and are clearly provided by the brand and things that I think, and I won't say anything about my own opinion that isn't actually true, regardless of whether it is sponsored or not sponsored. This has nuked many a sponsor deal, caused many an issue for our poor business team, the hardworking souls that they are, but it is not something that there's any flexibility on for us. And I have even very recently actually lectured other hosts and writers about making sure that they hold their ground and do not allow any words to be put in their mouth that they do not agree with. One of our writers was told by someone in the production chain, hey, can you just record this as a pickup in case the brand requires it? And hopefully we won't have to use it. And it was something that they weren't 100% comfortable with, not because they didn't like the product or because it was wrong. It was just a little more enthusiastic than they were. The tone was not how they actually felt about it. I overheard this conversation and I basically said, look, I got a really good piece of advice once on a shoot for a car commercial that I did like years and years ago. And I was told to say something about the definition of the screen and the center display. And I said, hey, well, okay, what's the actual pixel count? Because I'm not going to say those words if I don't know that it's like something that aligns with those words. Like I'm a tech guy, that's my entire identity, is that I wouldn't say high definition unless it actually had a pixel count that could correspond to high definition. If you just mean like reasonably fine PPI, then I'll have to say that. Like I have to say what it actually is. And they like gave me a really hard time and they asked me to do the same thing. They asked me to record it both ways, the way that I wanted to say it, that hedged, and the way that was exactly their words, and then they would find out and they would, make sure before they do the edit. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. You have like 30 people here. I think you guys can figure it out. This is going to delay us like 5 minutes. Just call somebody and find out what the pixel count is. And the DP who was shooting it, after they like stormed off, because it got kind of heated, And I was like, I'm not going to do it. I need you guys to figure this out. The DP leans over and he's like, look, I'm on their payroll today, but good job. Never shoot something that you don't believe, that you don't want to be used, because they'll use it.
Based.
And because that's the thing, right? It's my contract entitles them to everything I shot that day. I didn't get it in writing that they wouldn't use it. So like from a legal standpoint, unless I can prove we had that conversation.
Absolutely will.
Yeah, it's either not binding or it's not worth me pursuing at that point. The easier thing to do is to just never shoot it. So long story short, the brand got it all figured out, and it turned out their talking points were fine.
Sure. Doesn't matter, though.
But I just needed to know.
It's the principle.
I needed to know. And so coming back to your question, everything I said in the video was true. I have been using them. I haven't been using them every single night. There are definitely advantages to my regular AirPods Pros. In fact, I used my AirPods Pros last night. They're just convenient because there's no pairing process or anything like that. However, with that said, my AirPods Pros fell out last night. And I woke up, and then I woke up really early this morning, and they were dead, so I couldn't put anything back on. So the sleep buds would have fixed both of those problems if I had put in the effort as I was going to bed of bothering to pair them and put them in. So they're pretty sweet. As for the however many, what was it? You said 14 million views on the announcement. What was this? Ozlo. Hold on, I can't even find this video. Ozlo sleep. I do not see anything with 21 million views. Oh, here it is. Never mind, popular. Okay.
How many comments?
So this channel has 1,000 subscribers. This video is from 11 months ago. Has 21 million views and has 12 comments.
Yeah. So
these are paid views. So that's how it has 21 million views, which is fine.
When you say that, I think a lot of people are going to interpret that as botted views.
Oh, no, not that.
He means it was ran as an advertisement on YouTube.
Yeah.
And when a advertisement is ran on YouTube, there is a video that you can go find that it actually is. They're really just playing a YouTube video before your YouTube video. So you can find the ad. That's the ad. But people don't comment on the ad. So there's almost no comments on the video.
In fact, I can show you guys a really fun example of how that works, because that video that Elijah and I worked on for Yvonne's movie night in the pool, the analytics look super funky for it. Oh, no. Oh, that's right. You can't go back and look at historical real time. Ugh. Okay, well, shoot. Yeah, it's been too... Oh, I might have Did I take a screenshot? No, I didn't take a screenshot. Okay,
I know people showed me, but I think it was live on their phone.
The real-time view used to look like a really high spike, and then it went like this, and then it went, and then like another decay, and then went, and then it went like flat like this. That is not normal. Normally, when you first release a video, it starts high, and then it kind of just tapers out. And then over time, eventually, it might kind of, have some spikes and dips and that kind of thing. But instead, this followed a super weird curve compared to our typical. You can actually see here. There you go. You can kind of see this was it petering out. And this was the first ad spend that Hisense did. And then it tapers off a little bit. And then here's some more ad spend. And then they stopped. So it actually reports as normal views in your dashboard. But you can see this estimated revenue is more reflective of a video that got like 1.5 million views, not 3.8 million views. So those extra views compared to usual. So
it did well.
Were purchased views from Hisense.
It didn't do as well as it looks.
And what's unfortunate is it kind of mucks with your analytics, because this retention looks really bad because most people click off of ads. So that's something, which I think might... we also noticed channel performance went down a little bit after this video. Like, I think that may impact like our like channel momentum and stuff too. So we don't really have, I don't think we have a clear policy for whether someone is allowed to buy ads against our videos when they sponsor a video, but maybe that's something we'll have to look at, because it seems like by juicing this video, we got a lot of like abandonment of this video. And given that they're going to be targeting our demographic, if that counts as abandonment of LTT videos, that might mean it's less likely to serve them the next ones, which is like legit, except that it was an ad. It wasn't a video that they navigated to. So
that kind of makes sense, because I expected the case video to do better, and I expected the secret shopping my own store video to kind of kill.
So we might have to ask brand. Oh, you know what we could do is we could have a garbage channel, and we can ask brands to use the like garbage channel version of the video. Dan,
that's an interesting idea.
Do you mind actually sending just a note to me? And I'll follow that up next week. I'll suggest that to the business team, because then...
Would you like it scheduled, or do you want me to send it to you now?
Oh, just whenever, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, my inbox is basically my to-do list. Yeah, we know the intro is cringe, Black Smoke Rise. It was on purpose.
Apparently Spiffing Brit did a video on this, and serving a video as an ad does affect it in the algorithm.
Oh, I understand it will affect that video, but what I'm wondering is whether it affects the profile of that viewer that abandoned an LTT video and makes it less likely to serve them LTT. Because given how hard fought, how hard won momentum like that is, to lose any of it over something like this feels just unnecessary and frustrating. I don't know that it did. Silicoid says, how cold was it actually in the pool? It seemed you guys were really in there for a while. The pool was great. The top half of us being outside the pool was miserable. In fact, I'd never experienced this before, but with how cold my skin got outside the pool in like rain and cold, when I finally did jump into the pool, which was still heated, it was crazy, because we keep our pool like quite warm for a pool, but it was still pool temperature. But I got in, it felt like a hot tub, because I've never tried that before. So that's a thing that if you've like done that before, you'll know. But now I know. For
a few months there, I was doing hot cold cycles, and wow, yeah,
I would imagine that would be painful. Because if a pool felt like a hot tub would have been like pretty unpleasant, I would think.
It was. It wasn't a hot tub; it was a sauna. But yeah, it was hot. It was really hot. It was a cold bath and a sauna.
Apparently, with Spiffing Brit's video, you purposely placed the worst audience and interests, i.e., senior book readers, on a video game video, and that'll nuke all the channel's analytics after the spike from ad serving. Oh, interesting. So yeah, maybe we do need to do that. Okay, cool. Well, we'll get that sorted out, and we won't do that again.
Yoicks.
Want to talk about McDonald's soft serve machines?
Yeah, because I had read an article on this already, and it was misleading. I have read our notes now, and I now understand what's going on. What I said at the beginning of the show was wrong.
In response to a petition from iFixit and nonprofit public interest group Public Knowledge, the U.S. Copyright Office has granted a partial exemption to the DMCA that allows restaurant owners to diagnose and repair their own equipment. And where Luke got a little bit confused, and maybe it goes to show you how full of misinformation the internet can be these days.
I read an article that said the partial exemption was for McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, so Luke kind of thought, oh, this is like, what, to help pad McDonald's pockets? No. In fact, this is to go against, the McDonald's soft serve machines are such a rabbit hole. It's fascinating.
It is actually very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But what this does instead is it actually removes the incentive for McDonald's corporate and their partners to not allow franchise owners to repair their own equipment, because it turns out those service calls are extremely lucrative. And if they let them repair their own equipment, it could be done cheaply and faster, which means more chili treats for you in the summer, since the machines will be far less likely to be broken. And it mostly impacts franchise owners who a lot of the time are not huge corporate fat cats. They are people who have a lot of their monthly revenue being paid to the huge corporate fat cats, but actually are just in the restaurant business, which can be a very challenging business. So this decision is a blow to Taylor, the manufacturer of these machines, which has historically made a large part of its income from repair calls and has fought third-party attempts to repair its purposely finicky machines. That's a big part of the rabbit hole, is that it does appear as though the machines are intentionally obtuse and difficult to deal with. Sick.
Yeah. That's good.
Freaking love it.
Very good.
Yeah, there's lots of good videos. People in the chat are recommending Matt Pat's video on it. The whole ice cream machine fiasco. I've seen other good ones. I wish I could remember right now, but there's definitely really good ones.
You know, this is a weird aside, but I was talking to my brother. My brother's a firefighter, and they cook. It's like a culture thing. They cook all their own meals. So the kitchen in the fire hall is like really important. The people that are on probation have to make muffins all the time and all this kind of stuff. And you're expected to like actually be able to cook pretty well, because it's going to cycle around who's cooking, and you're cooking all the meals for all the firefighters that are on shift that day, right?
Yeah.
And it rotates who does it. So you're actually expected to like know what you're doing and be pretty good. Like he was practicing at home. They have special ovens that will turn off when they get fire calls.
Oh, that's super cool.
It's like kind of sick, actually.
So clearly,
they they have this other problem where the like control panel or something is where all the steam comes out. So the control panel like fries itself constantly. Oh, okay. But then they like have to use that one oven because it turns itself off when the so it's like anyways.
There's a lot of good comments about this. Clapped for 24 Accord. Clapped K24 Accord. Okay, it doesn't matter. The point is, they said fast food equipment in general is ridiculous to repair, way too expensive. Apparently, it's $3,500 to replace a control unit in a Tim Hortons oven. This is all hearsay. And then Nicholas Cage says, I work maintenance for corporate 7-Eleven, and the maintenance game is bullshit.
They've been in Floatplane chat forever. It's anytime someone says their name, it's just like, what?
WizTick says, I'm high as f***. I love Floatplane. You guys are awesome. Maybe a little unrelated.
Same here.
You're on shift.
Oh, no.
This is actually a perfect segue. So, having a little bit of healthy skepticism when you read something on the internet, I should have had more skepticism last week.
Oh, yeah,
We've got an update on the Congo attack ad. So remember that thing last week where the teacher supposedly was blaming me for resource mining or whatever else? Yeah, we have since learned via a post from a second student that was in the same class that was a mock-up example in a media literacy assignment where students were expected to make similar pretend attack ads. The teacher describes himself as a big LTT fan, which is how he became aware that his attack ad had escaped his classroom, which was the only place it was intended to be seen.
So unfortunate.
We have gotten in contact with the teacher in question and asked them, hey, do you want an opportunity to tell your side of the story? And he graciously agreed to send us a pre-recorded video statement. Let's go ahead and play it.
Which is so cool.
LTT crew, I was asked to create this video to respond to the Reddit post, so here I am. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the statement that I wrote. A student recently took a photo of a lesson component out of context and posted it online, where it was shared widely. The isolated image misrepresented the intent and content of the lesson, leading to a false and hurtful characterization of my views. The lesson was based on a poem by Derek Walcott's poem Elsewhere, and focused on highlighting atrocities happening around the world. Then students were asked to create political attack ads, bringing awareness to said atrocities. To illustrate these concepts, I created an example ad, which the student then posted online. It's crucial to understand that this example was for illustrative purposes only, and did not reflect my personal views. Linus himself is really good at encouraging people to buy used and refurbished electronics, and isn't anywhere close to problematic in my eyes. He's the Note 9 GOAT. While the online post was anonymous, it has caused some significant distress for me. It's disheartening to see my work misconstrued and used to create a misleading narrative, especially since I'm a big LTT fan and watch the channel all the time, which is how I found out about this to begin with. So to put this whole thing to bed, I don't think Linus is solely responsible for what happened in the Congo. It was just an example. That's all. Signing out.
What an absolute Chad. Okay, the version that he recorded is a little different from the written version that I read.
Did it not have the Note 9 code in it?
He added some flavor.
Honestly, I think
And he added the bit at the end about how I'm not solely responsible for it.
which I also thought was pretty funny. I think it's a cool,
guy.
engaging project to do. I don't know. He seems like he's probably a fantastic teacher.
Yeah, Ninja Man Away says, send that man some merch. Yeah, I think we need to get him a package. I think we need to get him a care package. Dan, do you mind noting that down as something to maybe flag that for Mr. AP, speaking of people who are goated, our customer care lead over at Creator Warehouse. Let's get something over to him, because we clearly need to make up for all the damage that we've done to the Congo.
Honestly, in a way, it's a like super success of the project, because it showed the efficacy of this type of stuff.
Absolutely.
So like his lesson plan just worked like way too well.
Yep. Yeah, he demonstrated how powerful, outrage culture can be, and how much reach something can have when it elicits such an emotional response in the viewer.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job. I'd love to send him something like super cool. Like maybe we could get him. We have a handful of photo samples of the new backpack.
Oh.
I don't know if they're going to let me have any of those, but we'll put something together. Yeah, the commuter bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, are you leaking something here?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll figure something out. Okay? We'll figure something out. But it'd be cool to get him something like one of one, or something that's like, early, or something cool.
I just think it's cool because, like, I mean,
maybe it should all be used stuff.
I had
stuff we didn't need anymore.
I
don't want to hurt any more kids in the Congo.
That could be kind of cool.
By the way, I have still been carrying the Note 9, even though I'm reviewing the iPhone.
Is this type of thing what we could use the remaining Lambo beanies for?
No.
No?
We have a plan for them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's not a great plan.
I think it's cool. I don't know. I had such a range. I think everybody does. I had such a range of teachers when I was going to school. I had the teacher that like would literally just sit there with the textbook and read it, or they would put scans of the textbook on the thing and just tell you to read it when you have the textbook. Like, it's just, it might as well not even be there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in going to their class.
We had one that literally wasn't there a lot of the time. He would go to the cafeteria. If you had the block before lunch, he would assign everyone silent reading. And this is in like grade 8. When you don't need to do silent reading in class.
No.
He would assign everyone to like read, and he would disappear for like 20 minutes at a time out of a 50-minute block. And he'd go to the cafeteria and like sample food ahead of time, because he was like buddies with the people in the cafeteria. I was like, this is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. But then you have great teachers like this guy seems to be, that'll like go out of their way to create cool projects and engaging ways to like actually learn. Because at least for me, when I was going to school, if it was just book work, like, chance that's getting done is not super high. But if it was like some weird, engaging, different, not necessarily expected project, way to engage with the learning in a different way, stuff like that, man, I would be all over that. So I don't know.
This seems like a very creative assignment, and I'm really glad that he was kind enough to put himself out there and come talk about, how he actually felt like about that. Honestly, I think we probably haven't talked enough about how important it is to articulate the damage that this kind of cyberbullying can cause. I think he did a great job of just talking about like how it made him felt and what the impact was. You can tell this is someone that has a lot of experience dealing with like assholes, which, let's be honest, a lot of high schoolers are.
A high school teacher.
And like explaining in the simplest possible terms why like doing a bad thing is bad.
Yeah, it was well
Okay.
written, well read as well.
Yeah, did a great job.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got this week? Dan, what are we supposed to be doing?
Instagram head.
Yeah, just so run out the rest of your topics.
Instagram head confirms they lower the quality of unpopular clips. In a recent video AMA, head of Instagram Adam Mosseri stated that the platform demotes unpopular clips to a lower level of video quality. However, this will reverse if the video gains traction again. Mosseri claims that it is only a small bump in quality and doesn't make competing harder for smaller creators. Okay.
That makes sense.
How would they know?
I don't know.
A really difficult thing to measure.
Well, everyone would start as a small creator, so theoretically it's a level playing field, I guess.
Fair enough.
Well, no, but, also kind of.
It's a free platform, guys.
And at the end of the day, content is king. A difference in video quality on a platform like Instagram, where quite frankly, the video all looks like butt anyway.
No one cares. Unfortunately, I wish they did. Floatplane would do better if they did.
Yeah.
They don't. It is what it is.
Our discussion question is, would you do the same if you were in their position?
Yeah, probably.
All right. See you later. What else we got for today?
It's a free,
Dan won't be telling us.
what I would especially do is really old clips that haven't been accessed in a long time.
Oh, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Like you go back like way far back on like your Facebook timeline or whatever, and you like try to like open a photo. It like takes a second.
Oh, but that's not
you can
necessarily...
tell it's grabbing off a hard drive.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the quality level of it.
Oh, this
That's
is
how
just
it's
bandwidth
stored.
conservation. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's also probably affected by storage too, because anything higher quality or more viral is they're going to be caching it way nearer to you.
Expensive storage.
Yeah.
And yeah, that too.
At the end of the day, architecting this stuff at the scale that they operate at is extremely complicated.
Yeah, and little changes like this, which I actually believe, Adam Mosseri, it probably doesn't really make much of a difference to almost anybody. But who it is going to make a pretty big difference to is probably them when it comes to their bills. Like on the scale that Instagram is doing,
Yep.
This will probably save them tons, but it'll unlikely to make any real difference to users or creators.
Scrappy DP asks, do old Floatplane clips lose quality? The answer is no.
Nope.
Floatplane is not growing at or even targeting growing at the kind of exponential rate that your VC funded businesses
Not even
slash
sort of close.
big tech businesses are expecting. And so even though storage costs are only falling a little bit these days compared to how they used to, our storage costs and our storage needs are kind of doing okay.
Yep.
So we can maintain everything the way that it was.
We do de-rank, like we have like ranks of storage, but not of quality effectively.
Yeah.
So like if something's not accessed for a long time, it's going to fall back to hard drives. If something starts getting feverishly accessed, like a Floatplane exclusive LTT thing or something like that, that'll sit in higher tier storage, so it can be pulled easier. Is what it is.
Want to play some AI Minecraft?
Yes.
AI company Decart has publicly released...
Sounded like a duck call.
Yeah, I don't know. My throat was weird. Has publicly released Oasis, which is a playable AI model trained on Minecraft. Currently, you can only play for a few minutes at most, and it's only playable on Chrome. The results are, description, trippy.
Okay.
Do you want to play, or should I play, or like, oh, I'm going to need a mouse probably. I mean, it's Minecraft. Give me a sec. I got one.
Yeah, okay. You play then. Do they call it?
Ow!
It's trained on Minecraft. Is this
stupid metal board that Sammy had for the stupid
yikes.
tier
Did it
list
shin
thing
you?
just whacked me in the shin.
Please don't get blood on the set.
Dude, my head bled from the shoot I did yesterday with David. I stood up and I hit my head on his Borg computer.
Oh.
Those are words that'll make sense once you watch the video.
Yeah, okay.
Zukaku says Borg computer.
Not Bork. Not
Yes,
Bork.
Borg computer.
Good.
Dude, we did a bit of a different extreme upgrade or ultimate upgrade, or whichever branding we're using for it right now. David paid for everything. So instead of having a sponsor for it, it's just
Oh, yeah. No, I like this idea. I think
just a
I think
video.
we were talking about doing this at some point.
yeah, it's just a video where just like David's doing an upgrade anyway, and we make a video about it.
Get some labor.
The quid pro quo was that I and Reese would like help him with it for the day.
Reese, not Elijah. Maybe I'll go down this route.
Yeah. You might not end up with too many extra holes in your house.
Exactly, yeah.
So Reese and I were there for the day helping him with things. So like I built his SO's computer and, helped with the mounting of his custom painted USS Enterprise and stuff like that. And also that we did that video promoting him selling his collection, which got it extra exposure, which helped his budget. So it was like, and then in return, he's giving us his space and, his upgrade. And he probably spent some money on things that he probably wouldn't have to make it a little more interesting. Anyway.
Dude, I should con you into painting my place.
The space ends up super cool. I did no painting, which was nice.
Oh.
And I hit my head.
Oh.
I forget where I was going with this. But in fairness to me, I recently hit my head. So anyway, Oasis.
Okay. So it's muted.
Start.
Right now. Oh.
You are about to enter a first-of-its-kind video model.
Is there sound?
A game engine trained by millions of gameplay hours. Every step you take will shape the environment around you in real time.
So are they going to get sued to all crap?
Hold on, I'm on it. Mute which one?
There's a volume thing in the top left of Oasis.
What are you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, mute that. Okay, cool. So that is only coming from that then.
Okay, so we're good?
So vmix C, unmute.
Here we go, boys.
This.
Ooh. Okay. What do you want? What do y'all want to see?
Maybe we go for rugged coastline and just go BC.
Okay. A sheer drop from towering peaks crumbling into the ocean below. Trees balance over the water and waves crash over rocks. Ready for adventure. Waiting for your turn.
Written by AI.
Oh.
Waiting for your turn?
Dang it, did all of y'all jump on here?
Oh.
Hold on. Positioning Q 29, ETA 12 seconds.
Oh.
Okay, we got this.
Does the position in Q go down? There it is. Nice.
It's your turn.
Do it.
Okay. So,
Can you press button? Like, can you select the different items that you have?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just doing stuff here.
Is it super laggy?
It's definitely a little laggy, yeah.
What happens if you limit your frame of view and then look up?
Hold on, I'm doing a thing here.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't think you are.
Okay, so I look up.
Oh no, I meant like out in the world. Like, did it change? Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, there you go.
Trey's interesting.
I don't think it's able to. Yeah, so like, stairway.
Oh, where'd it go? Oh!
What the heck? Is that thing moving?
This is like your Minecraft game
On acid.
dropped a Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going to be over this? Honestly, it makes the exploration kind of fun. Can I build a path for myself? Like, is that possible? Is that how this works? Is that how any of this works? Okay, yeah. I can.
Maybe with this, Starfield wouldn't have been a useless pile of junk.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what's up there? I want to see what's supposed to be there. Are you kidding me?
Whoa, there's a structure.
Whoa, am I?
Is that a village?
Whoa, dude, I kept going up to but I made my way away from the mountain I was on.
There's no look. Whoa!
Like, did you see what happened there?
Wow! As you just turn, everything's changing.
I was climbing a mountain and looking up, and it became just like whatever was in front of me.
This is some Inception kind of stuff, dude. Village gone.
This is crazy. Who needs drugs when you can just play this game?
Well, wait until they have this kind of stuff for VR.
Wow. Okay, I think I've had enough.
You'd be kind of right.
So, this is just a glimpse into the future of interactive AI experiences. What's next? Just imagine.
As far as my understanding goes, they have some of it running on ASIC cards. Yeah. The playable model was made possible by super fast inference thanks to an ASIC card with the model's transformer architecture physically recreated on the chip by Decart partner Etched. Whew.
Our discussion questions are, what do you think of the game? Well, I mean, it's obviously just Minecraft because it's trained on Minecraft. How close is it to actual Minecraft, it asks. I mean, in terms of like how it felt to play other than being super leggy, it like felt like Minecraft.
Felt like Minecraft.
Honestly, yeah, like the movement and everything.
Does it take much to get you there?
Maybe not. Maybe not that much.
Jump, attack is a hold button.
Yeah. I didn't try to run. I guess I could have tried to do more things. Our next question, though, is how good is its object permanence? And there I would say things fall apart a little bit.
That's the whole reason why the demo is fun.
Yeah. How bad it is sort of the most interesting thing about it. With that said,
it's also kind of crazy.
The fact that this exists at all.
Yeah.
With no game engine.
Yeah.
With no...
Because it's bad because it's not very playable. Yes. But it's also amazing because it exists.
Yeah. The fact that this is a thing at all is mind-blowing. With that said, it is very clear that we are an awful long way away from our GPUs just being neural processing units and this being a gaming experience that anyone would want.
Yeah.
I give it 6 months.
Would be kind of cool if that ended up being an add-in card, though. I'd be down to go back to multiple add-in cards. That'd be sick.
Yeah, get your physics card in there, get your sound card in there, get your neural card in there. Yeah. Well, if NVIDIA has their way, the GPU will eventually morph into a neural PU, and then it'll just like have a GPU component on it because you'll always like need to output. And you'll always need to play legacy games and stuff like that. But pretty cool. Lucky Falcor says it's like the impossible staircase illusion with that mountain. Yeah, that was trippy because I was trying to look up the mountain and I made my way to like a landscape in front of me somehow. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess there is no up in video games if you think about it. So why would it? Right? Because you could move a mouse up infinitely, theoretically, right? Like there's no gravity in a video game. What? Like it's all artificial.
Yeah.
Like we create up and we create down. But this AI model is not constrained by that.
What's up in real life?
Exactly. It's away from the center of the earth. But what
if you're not on the earth anymore? Where's up now?
No, I'm trying to make a point now.
So up in the video game is away from the center of your thing.
Sorry, what?
Center of the game world.
Yeah, but it stopped having a center.
Yeah.
Yeah. So theoretically, this AI model is not constrained by that. You could just keep going up. You could have more than 360 degrees. Like it's just.
I'm just screwing with a modest panda. Don't worry about it.
It's like Xbox.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm more of a down guy. I'm a down enjoyer myself.
Like naturally sourced or artificial?
You know what you might enjoy is using a convenient app that is readily available to track world leaders.
Yeah.
According to journalists at French newspaper Le Monde, it is apparently possible to track the location of President Emmanuel Macron by identifying his bodyguards, many of whom have public accounts under their legal names, on Strava, a fitness app with social networking elements. This means that they have been publicly posting their running routes, including geodata. Which means, where are they? Where is the president? Yes, problem. It is also apparently possible to do the same with other world leaders, including the US president and both presidential candidates. This is not a new problem. In 2023, a Russian submarine commander was killed while jogging. The commander had a Strava account under his own name, which his assailant may have used to track his regular routes.
Yeah, so this one wasn't bodyguards, it was the actual guy.
Andre B says, wasn't there something about soldiers identifying secret bases the same way? Yes, I believe that did happen with a secret U.S. military installation of some kind.
There's a lot of these types of problems. There's even more subtle ones that I don't think people really properly consider, because like when the 2023 thing happened with the Russian submarine commander, I think that brought to light to a bunch of people like, oh, maybe I should consider this. One that I point out fairly often when I meet parents of kids, and those the kid likes playing Pokemon Go and the parent is just like, you know, being supportive but doesn't really understand what's going on, is I like to point out that when you give gifts in the game, the gifts come with a postcard of where the gift came from, and you get gifts in the game by spinning stops, but you are most likely to spin the stop that is closest to your house most often. So people can figure out where you live based on being friends with you on Pokemon Go. I don't know.
CH5609 says, this is like people figuring out that deep shit was going down because of a higher number of pizza orders to the Pizza Hut / Domino's near the Pentagon.
That's a long-term thing. There are actually like trackers for that and stuff, because it's like a reliable metric that doesn't seem to be becoming less reliable. Yeah.
Nice.
Washington Pizza Index. Yeah, exactly.
The Pizza Index.
Yeah, this is like totally a thing.
YouTube users have been reporting missing view counts and upload dates. There's a Reddit post from 4 months ago.
I don't know.
Some users recently, though, found that there were no longer view counts or upload dates on YouTube's homepage. This led to reporting that YouTube might be performing another experiment. YouTube, however, has responded and says this is actually a bug that is typically experienced by users with certain browser extensions enabled. The company suggests disabling these extensions and making a report if the issue continues. So our discussion question here, this just came up because someone flagged it for me recently. Do you think this is a YouTube experiment or another attack on AdBlock? Would you find that it would degrade the experience of YouTube for you if you didn't know the upload date and how many views a video had?
Yes.
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Although I understand why you wouldn't want that, because it could potentially really help small creators.
Why I wouldn't want what?
Why you wouldn't want it to show view counts.
Why I wouldn't want it to?
Yeah, because if you're a really small creator, you don't want people to not click on your video just because it has 200 views.
Yeah. No, that would be. I could see how that could level the playing field in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upload date.
Sorry, what would I want? What would I not want though?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you said I wouldn't want it. What would I not want? I was just trying to figure that out.
I don't remember the exact reference.
Oh.
Of the moment of when I said that.
Oh, okay. I object to this mostly as a user. I'm not really thinking about it as a creator. However, I'm going to play devil's advocate against my own argument, and I'm going to kind of share an observation that has materialized for me over a while. It's bothered me a lot for years that Netflix doesn't show the popularity of things, like not in a universal way. They'll have like popular for people like you, they'll have stuff like that. They don't show things like critical acclaim or like a Rotten Tomatoes rating or anything like that. Basically, they just merchandise the movie or TV show or whatever it is with photos and descriptions and kind of present it to you and algorithmically track what works for you and what you like and what you don't. And they make that whole thing work, right? Mm. And one of the things that I've observed is that my family watches almost nothing on Plex and gravitates towards Netflix far more than Plex, even though the library on Plex is actually much larger. And I realized for myself that when I go to try to find something to watch on Plex, it's really hard. And one of the reasons that I had kind of a light bulb moment, one of the reasons is the data. Having the data of how good something is makes it so much harder to find something that, you know what, I might actually end up enjoying, even if it's not good. I will almost universally enjoy something that has super high critical acclaim and also audiences love it. Like The Wild Robot is outstanding. Just go watch it. Don't question it. Just go watch it. It was just a great film. But there are times when I will enjoy something that is not critically acclaimed. For example, Major Pain got a 29% rating on the tomato meter from critics. And even 68%, like if you know the film, you'll know that 68% for a film of this genre is actually pretty good. It's a pretty polarizing film. And I was thinking about how if I saw something that was rated 29% by critics and 68% by audiences in my Plex, I probably wouldn't bother watching it. And so I guess where I'm coming back to in all of this is maybe the metadata that they give us. Coming back even to like-dislike ratio.
Crazy that some things have a relationship when it comes to audience score.
Yeah, I mean, I think the critics are probably right on that one. And maybe part of it is that you watched Hackers when you were young.
Yeah.
And I watched it as an adult. And I watched Major Pain when I was young.
I also think I'm
there's some
more into
nostalgia.
the subject matter.
Have you seen Major Pain?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you thought it was like dumb or bad?
No,
or...
I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay. So the problem with like-dislike, when YouTube removed that, was that there's a lot of content where it's really important to be able to see that kind of rating because they don't have a community notes system. They don't have anything equivalent. If a guide for how to repair your dishwasher is like not very good, or if a moon landing conspiracy video is a conspiracy video and is like something irrelevant that we shouldn't be watching, they don't really have an equivalent for that. And so the like-dislike ratio was at least a useful barometer of potential usefulness or quality. But view counts, upload dates.
Upload date might be.
Upload date, depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If what YouTube seeks to be is just an entertainment platform where people watch as much as possible,
Why do they seem to be killing evergreen content if they're going to get rid of upload dates, though?
I don't know that they're killing evergreen content.
It doesn't seem to be doing as well.
We could probably have a much longer conversation about that. I think some of our evergreen content is struggling a little bit. We upload a lot. We are tech-centric, which can make even our...
less relevant?
Yeah, even our evergreen content, I think, is less evergreen than, say... Well, I was going to say comedy, but comedy can... Sometimes it ages like fine milk, but depending on the content. Some things are more evergreen than others. The guide for how to repair this dishwasher model is evergreen, because that dishwasher model will always be that dishwasher model.
Well, less people have it.
This is true. Unless it's a really important one. And people would restore them. Maybe it's the firehouse one.
Sure.
And people always need to fix it. Anyway, the point is that maybe they could expand people's horizons, which could be a benefit, even if it comes with some trade-offs, and they could improve their own internal metrics, which are increasing watch time, by actually giving us far less measurable, empirical data about a piece of content. Thoughts? I might enjoy my Plex library more. What I'm trying to say is I might enjoy my Plex library more if I didn't know how good something was.
I think there's too many things that I watch on YouTube that think about WAN Show VODs. If you're watching a WAN show that's 2 years old, it is out of date.
Sort of. We have a lot of conversations that are useful, for the history of tech and that are not on topic.
Yeah, history of tech, though.
Sure.
So what if we have a WAN show and the title is like, Google killed a company again? Ah! And then you're like, oh, what did they kill this time? And then you're like, wait, How long does it take you to figure out that this happened years ago and they're not talking about the 87 things that they've killed in between then and now? Like, that's, I don't know. Yeah, it leaves you to, like, you have to sit there and watch the video to figure out if this is actually a video that you want to watch or not, instead of being able to just look at the date and be like, okay, got it.
Which is good for the platform.
Or it gets people to just leave the platform entirely because it's annoying.
I came across this video in my shorts feed, actually, speaking of this.
Kyle!
It was Kyle from Bitwit, and the reason I noticed it in my shorts feed was because the thumbnail had this frame of me in it. And I was like, sorry, when was Kyle from Bitwit talking about me? And I clicked on it, and I realized, like, how obfuscated things are now. So, okay, we've got likes. There's no view count. So this is already, like, happening. This is already the direction the interface is going. I can't see how many subscribers Kyle has. In fact, what drove me... Oh, this is interesting. Oh, weird. This has the channel name, but oh my gosh, I swear the screenshot that I sent to our rep earlier today did not. Oh, so trippy. Okay, so when I navigated to this, not from his channel, Luke can confirm.
Yeah, confirmed. I know what you're talking about.
There's no channel name, no subscribe button. There's no way for me to get information about who he even is, which sort of flies in the face of YouTube's claims that the shorts feed can be like a funnel for your VOD content.
That's the opposite of that.
Yeah, it was like I was like, what the heck is this? I have no way of finding this. Anyway, my point is, I think it would be a terrible thing for YouTube because of the vastly different way that people use YouTube compared to a movie library. But in general, maybe less data could be a good thing. That's all I'm trying to say. And I guess my question was, would degrading the experience in this way make you less likely to use an ad blocker if this was one of the levers that they decided to pull? If you're an ad blocker, they just like remove other elements of the page.
Yeah, probably.
Like, would that harm your use of the platform?
I think for a pretty considerable amount of YouTube viewing that I do, it would do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Corey, as the name says, I find myself judging fictional books intensely if I see their rating prior to reading. I think about that rating throughout the process of reading the book, and I end up losing some of my focus on the content itself.
A date isn't a rating, though. Like, I understand what you're saying with the like to dislike side of things, but a date is not a rating. A date is I don't know. Sometimes a very old video can communicate that it could be a very quality thing, and sometimes a very new video is kind of a requirement. If you're trying to keep up to date on what's happening in U.S. politics, and you look up something to do with Trump, for example, and running for election.
Yeah, it could easily be the 2016 or the 2020 election.
Yeah, like, it sounds super annoying, to be completely honest. Like, there's certain things that are just timely. What if you wanted to find something from the 2016
What if they used
election?
AI to determine whether a video really needs the data on it or not? Nazfreak says YouTube has confirmed it's not testing removing it. It was a side effect. I know. It just prompted a conversation. That's all. I just wanted to talk about it.
It's a side effect of certain add-ons or something?
Side effect of your face. Yeah, extensions. We said that earlier, but they might be tuning in a little
Did they say what kind of extensions?
No.
Okay.
Who knows what kind? Dan, I think that's it for the topics on the WAN Show this week. Do you want to switch us over to After Dark?
Okay, I can do that, absolutely.
Let's do it. Wow, there's so many of you watching today.
A date is context. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think the date matters.
I get it. No, to be clear, I want the date.
Yeah.
But, like, would I be
Small
more
crowd
likely to
group.
watch It's a Wonderful World if I didn't know that it was, like, old? Maybe.
See, I think it could add value, though.
Or, like, Tootsie, you know?
Because, like, the fact that...
Whatever, just like some old movie.
The fact that we both know the name It's a Wonderful World means
Or It's a Wonderful Life? Sorry, It's a Wonderful
Life.
I think, isn't that...
My bad.
Oh, it's just a turn of phrase? Whatever.
No, that's the What a Wonderful World.
Yeah.
That's the song.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't know either of them is what we're coming to on conclusion. But I know the phrase. So if I saw that and I saw the date, I'm like, oh, I know this name it's super old, that probably means it was amazing. So I'm going to check this out.
But it could go either way.
Like if you hear someone in modern times say, hey, Schindler's List is like an amazing movie.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. And then you see that it's old. It might go like, oh, it was amazing enough for them to still care about it despite it not being a new release. Maybe I'll watch that.
I don't know.
Like it could communicate value.
Different people have different perspectives. Like Yvonne, for example, doesn't like watching old media. She just finds, especially the audio quality, when you go back a certain amount, is like not good enough for her to enjoy. Like their sound recording techniques, if you go back to like the 70s, early 80s, were not as good. And it's not as clean as it is now.
Doesn't bother me. I think it adds some charm, but I can understand having a different perspective on that.
Dan, do you want to hit us with some merch messages?
Yeah, sure. Hi, LDL. Recently, my desktop YouTube page has reduced the amount of thumbnails to 3 per row, leaving me with 6 videos on full screen, forcing me to scroll more. Do you have any thoughts on this trend?
I've seen some people complaining about this. I personally am a huge proponent of higher density. I mean, but maybe part of that is a generational gap thing. Like when I was a kid, screens were small and resolution was low, and every upgrade was so that you could fit more stuff on the screen, and so the screen would be bigger so you could see more at a time.
A very interesting rabbit hole to go down is North American versus Japanese web design.
Oh man, they're like violently opposite.
Dude, it's crazy, but they are successful in their areas. It's not just that, like, you know, Japanese web designers just feel like doing it some other way. No,
they just don't give a shit.
No, it works better with Japanese audiences. And then when you try to put American web design in front of Japanese audiences, they don't like it as much. They don't engage with it as much. I don't remember all the details. Then when you put Japanese web design styles in front of American audiences, they're like...
You get a reaction like this. Delmain in Floatplane chat says, I legitimately cannot stand Japanese web design. It's insane to me.
Yeah. Yeah, but they work really well within their cultures. It's very interesting. It's actually a genuinely very interesting rabbit hole.
Part of my feelings about it could also be a generational gap. Oh, wait, did I already say that part? Well, okay, I have another supporting piece of this. Because Yvonne was talking to some other people internally here, like younger people, Gen Z people, and she was talking about booking a trip, and they were like, oh, well, you know, whatever. And Yvonne's like, oh, well, I can't look at that right now. I'm not at my computer. And they go, well, what, you don't just book flights on your phone? And she's like, no, who would do that? And they're like, me. It is
inferior. Yvonne is correct.
It is vastly inferior. Yvonne is 100% correct.
Yep.
But apparently this is
objective.
Big generational gap thing is that millennials will...
The new generation is wrong.
Go to the computer to do certain things, and booking travel is one of them. Whereas Gen Zs will absolutely just use their phone to do stuff like that, even though they obviously cannot do a good enough job of it in comparison shopping and without using spreadsheets but that is very much an our generation thing. To even think of like
this. We're wrong about a lot of things. We're correct about that.
Big screen, big purchase.
To even think about using the desktop, going to use the computer, you know?
Yeah.
But 100%. The bigger the purchase, the better the chance that I want to use a big screen to do it.
For sure.
It's the same accounts, but it feels weird having money go through my phone. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm on the Amazon app on my phone, but big money has to go through it. No, even just like buying a little thing.
Oh, I don't mind that. I if I just like need something right now.
Artie's based.
What did Artie say?
As a Zoomer, I agree with PC being superior for big purchases.
And like there's certain things where I'll use both depending on the context. So if I'm just like browsing houses for the lulz, like I'm looking at the most expensive houses for sale in Vancouver right now, I'll do that on my phone. I don't care. I'm just like doom scrolling like nonsense.
Realtor.
I'm looking at people's fancy houses. Yeah. If I am shopping, dude,
research phone.
Are you kidding me?
Sometimes I'll go look over at North Van and just slide that willing to pay scale up.
Yeah.
Just be like, you know, if I just had a helicopter, I could just fly into work.
That I don't mind doing on my phone.
Sick. Yeah, exactly.
But like if I'm actually shopping, no, I got to be on my computer, man. Mm-hmm. I got to be on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a gamer / gardener and just got an OLED TV, LG C3, and want to get an QD OLED monitor, but I'm worried about the purple hue. I have grow lights on 16 hours a day and never use my computer in the dark.
It's very unlikely to bother you. I mean, the first example I have of this is my old Aperture Grill CRT. Okay, it had these two little lines across the screen for the like alignment wires, and I read reviews and people were like, oh yeah, it's annoying, it's this. And then other people were like, oh no, yeah, you forget about it. And I got it. I brought it home. I unpacked it and I was like, oh, they're really annoying. They bother me so much. They're visible, especially on white backgrounds, which, you know, going back to the early 2000s, mid 2000s, it was basically every web page, right? Like everything there was no dark mode. And I was on the brink of returning it and paying a 15% restocking fee at NCIX or whatever it was. I think it was 15%, right?
I think so. That sounds correct.
And then I gave it a little bit longer, and then I forgot they were there. And the purple hue is kind of like that. Yeah, you'll notice it. It'll be super noticeable when you know about it. And then you'll be playing a game, and it'll be like half an hour later, and you'll be like, oh, I haven't thought about the purple hue in a while. I wouldn't stress about it too much.
I remembered something about the Japanese versus American website design thing. It had something to do with like obfuscation of information and desire for comfort versus knowledge. And the Japanese web design leans more towards information overload, and the American web design leans more towards comfort and, you know, you're just going to trust that this is going to be legit, whatever. It's interesting. I don't remember all the details. It's actually like a fairly deep topic if you guys are interested, but I remember that being sort of one of the concepts.
By the way, enjoy your grow lights and maybe try that weird AI Minecraft thing. That dude, whew, can't even imagine.
Yeah.
G'day boys from Down Under. I'm planning to build a new PC and pretty sold on the 9000X3D series. Do you think the 9800X3D is going to be the best bet? Should I hold out for something better?
How are you pretty sold on that already?
No comment.
What's going on?
We know too much.
Yeah.
To answer this question.
You shouldn't be sold on something before independent reviews are out. I would encourage you to watch ours. I would also encourage you to watch others or read others.
Neat.
Yeah.
Linus, when you were on the yard, how close were you to walking out when they did their DJ intro?
I mean, I was warned by Luke what those guys were like. It wasn't my first time. Like we were there. We did the bro versus bro first, so I had encountered
bit of a primer
Ludwig by that point. Wait, did we do the bro versus bro first?
Yeah, I think so.
Now I don't remember. No,
I think so.
No, we did bro versus bro after.
Really?
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, never mind. Anyway, I knew who Ludwig was, and so I was surprised, but not shocked. It was unexpected, but not surprising. I don't know how to phrase it, but yeah, no, they did their intro. I think to go back and do the yard again, I would probably lean more into their bullshit rather than like kind of be the skeptical, outsider. But maybe that's sort of part of the deal of, having a guest on a show like that. Maybe everyone kind of goes through that a little bit. I wouldn't know. I don't watch the show. I had a couple people that were like very mad about me not knowing who anybody was and not listening to the podcast or watching the show or
why?
Whatever else. Cause I don't know, it made me seem arrogant or something. But I was just trying to be honest. Like I'm so sorry. I actually don't know any of your names because we all introduced ourselves like 3 minutes ago before I walked in here, and then I sat at the top of that slide for all of that time while you guys were DJ racist or whatever. And so I just was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. The only one of you who I know is Ludwig, and that just kind of is what it is, and I'm sorry. But some people, took that really negatively, but I mean, you know how things are. That's actually this is one of my favorite sort of yardsticks for, how marketable my face is how content performs when I'm on someone else's channel. Because how our videos perform is like,
this is your house.
Yeah, exactly. Like how marketable of a name is LTT. So I'm going to do this live, but I'm going to go and have a look at like how you don't want to look at anything from like a day ago, like a week or two ago. How'd I do? So GeoRain Bold, pretty appealing guest. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, who are some other folks? HiveMind TV was apparently a pretty good one. Because I don't watch YouTube. So this is one of the ways that I'll figure out, like, okay, who's like a big deal? Like this Sea-Dog VA guy seems to be kind of a big deal. So that's pretty cool.
Rainbolt is pretty based, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Here's one with just the crew. Okay, 500,000. So that's kind of the high end of if they don't have a guest on. What else we got?
Do you already know the answer to this?
Oh, no, I did pretty good. Yeah, 800K.
Did you already know the answer to this?
Already know what answer.
To this?
To what?
How well you did?
Oh, yeah.
You already knew the answer to this?
I haven't looked at it in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
But I knew that it was like an above average.
I was wondering how performative this was.
No, I just haven't looked at it in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's there's Hank Green crushed me, but that makes sense.
Hank Green.
Yeah, they had Hank Green on. So it's one of those things. It's like it helps me kind of figure out, where everyone's stock is at, kind of at whatever time they were on another person's channel, and helps me figure out if I did okay, like if anyone cares outside of just our like hyper geek sort of bubble that we live in.
Yeah.
There were a couple other Cutie Cinderella crushed.
I mean, that makes sense.
100% makes sense.
She's a great host and she's rather affiliated with that crew.
Amaranth.
That's a way to say
Amaranth crushed.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I was actually a little surprised to see how much overlap there was. Like I wasn't expecting their audience and our audience to have a lot of overlap. That's another thing that it gauges. So it's not just like, oh, higher number on someone else's channel, automatically you're like a big deal in mainstream or whatever. Like, no. But it can tell you how much overlap there is between people who watch that and people who watch. And there's too many variables to draw any concrete conclusions, but it's an indicator.
What's an audience that you don't think you would perform well with because of overlap issues? Because I feel like, I went through a few in my head, and one that I landed on was like makeup. But then no, I feel like if you went on a makeup channel, it would probably kill.
I don't think so, actually.
I think so, because all the dude bros would be like, what? I actually bet you it would do pretty all right.
I don't think so.
It might do bad for them because their algorithm's going to be all screwed, but I feel like the one episode might do all right.
I don't know. This is a tough one. If you have any kind of public space where it's just like a mixing pot, like the fact that school had the teacher and 2 students who knew enough to go find this on the subreddit and like knew who we were and like all that stuff, that's pretty solid. But that's just mixing pot, right? Whereas like an actual space where people are selectively there because they have an interest. Like I would think if there was a ceramics studio that had a channel, like, and I went on there, there'd be nothing.
I think I might do okay.
No one would care. I don't think
I think you do enough weird, random, off the wall stuff on this channel that something like ceramics would do fine.
But it's
I think if it was like a math education channel.
Oh no, that would be super high overlap.
You think?
People who are into math education and people who are into technology, get real.
Yeah, fair enough.
They did well on Veritasium. It's mostly like pretty crazy stuff.
No, I wasn't thinking like that though. I was
like
thinking
like a three brown, one
three
blue.
brown one or one three brown one
three
blue.
Brown, one blue.
Yeah, something like that too.
To be clear,
3 blue, 1 brown. I don't know, whatever.
To be clear, Veritasium, I completely ignored that one though. And the reason for that, no, I shouldn't say I ignored it. I watched the video and like Derek and his team did a great job and everything. Yeah. But I wasn't going to read anything into that one because his video performance is like so spiky.
Which seems weird to me because they all seem quite consistently good.
It's so hard sometimes. Even a master YouTube packaging and content creation is not going to knock it out of the park every single time, unless your name is Mark Rober. Even he doesn't get the same number of views on every single video because not everything can appeal to absolutely everybody, and that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
We should work on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying, Dan.
You
Everybody's trying, Dan!
You
No.
want us to be more normie?
No. I mean, you need to find the video that appeals to literally every single person.
Sure.
Oh.
But then, I mean, that's like not possible, is it? No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, up next. Hi, DLL. I'm in my senior year of engineering undergrad.
Hey, good for
In
you.
my opinion, at best, 96 of the 128 credits are relevant to my success. How would you pitch higher education to your children, and do you have hot takes?
Part of the original idea of the credit system and getting people to take credits that were not in their actual direct courses was to prepare people for being an adult and needing to like communicate with others about things that aren't just their one singular niche.
Be
They were trying to
well-rounded.
prep you for like the world. Yeah. I don't think it's as relevant these days.
They forced
The internet
Yvonne.
and stuff like that.
They forced Yvonne to take one accounting course as part of her pharmacy degree.
Thank goodness. Woo!
You never know. I guess is what I would
was
say.
classes that annoyed me when I was in school that I have absolutely used. Like, yeah, there's even classes that I took back in school that I still would have thought would have been useless 2 years ago and have since become useful. Like, I don't know. Learning stuff is just good and useful.
And part of it
Business statistics.
is forcing you to learn
Yeah.
and push yourself to learn something that you're not inherently interested in and that you might not see the point of because you never know.
Understand other perspectives and to be less generally useless. If you are more generally competent, you are less generally useless, which is awesome.
There's some
really
Luke life
good
tips
thing.
right there.
That's really fantastic.
Man, speaking of higher education, I was reading this interesting article about how college professors are like, we don't really know what to do because they assign reading to
And they just don't
new
do it.
students and they just like don't
Yep.
read. Like
Yeah,
they
there's-
literally arrive in college going, yeah, we've been assigned like excerpts to read, but we've never been assigned just like read this book
Yeah,
and
there's
come back in a couple days when you're done.
students entering Harvard that have never once read a book.
That is flipping wild to me.
Yeah,
I don't know how to deal with that.
yeah.
Yeah. Y'all gotta like read like a bit and stuff.
Literally me, Artie, you've never read a book?
I mean, you got a job without it, I guess. You know?
Ah!
I've read a book, maybe.
Oh, I mean, that's better than...
Parents still read to their
AJ
kids?
says, I've only read 8 books my entire life. The Harry Potter books plus House of the Scorpion. Or
It's-
Sorpion? Sorpion? I don't know what House of the Scorpion is.
I read Grapes of Wrath, and I really wish I hadn't.
I genuinely think
Like 1,000 pages.
that you should read, and this is even someone who has a hard time with it, because I think it's good for your brain to just sit there and have to imagine.
Oh, Artie's trolling. I've read books, but not many in university.
What about, I mean, are we okay with like Harry Potter's and House of the Dragon and all
That's a
those sort
book.
of like...
Yeah, Harry Potter's a book.
It's a book.
Yeah.
My
like we don't
argument
have
is
to
that
be
I-
like, you know, they don't have to be proper novels kind
Harry
of thing.
Potter's a
That's
proper
a novel?
No,
It's
but
for young adults.
I mentioned Grapes of Wrath, right? Which is like
A classic.
a classic American...
I've read a book. I've read Grapes of Wrath.
I don't know. Honestly
Yes.
speaking, I think a lot of what makes something classic is that it came first. Quite frankly, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn kind of f***ing suck.
The coming first part matters, though, in my opinion.
And like, to be clear, they don't suck. You know, I'm sure they're full of, you know, rich prose and all those things and stuff.
You're going to upset some people.
But I didn't care. Like I read them as a kid and I was like, seriously, this is what qualified as like good kids books those days. My God, nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that you know, just because something is more modern and just because it's full of plot holes and what?
No, just don't worry about it.
And like flawed world building, you know? Talking about Harry Potter here right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it not valid. Okay, what?
It's just people are quoting me.
Quoting you?
I avoided that one because
The coming first part matters.
Oh my goodness.
does fan fiction count? Like I don't know, My Immortal and stuff like that. It was seriously his name.
I don't know. I think the literal mental exercise of having to create a world in your brain to try to visualize it instead of just watching video and having that done for you in the modern day is actually very valuable for flexing your creativity muscles and stuff.
I promise you, nobody has made any video content that you enjoy watching. I'm talking like films, TV shows. Nobody made those without reading.
Yeah.
Like it's an important part of being able to create and not just consume.
I listen to audiobooks all the time
Tree hallucination.
because I get a lot of benefit from that as well.
Yeah, but
because
does
you still have to imagine.
just listening to it, like, because when you're reading it, you are solely focused on the page. If you're just listening to it while you're cooking dinner, like, you're not hallucinating properly. Now, am I being a novel purist? I haven't read in years, so
No,
it's not like
I
can say
think
much.
reading is objectively more based than listening to an audiobook. I just sometimes, if I'm driving, I'm going to listen to an audiobook, and I'm
Really?
still
You don't just read behind the wheel?
just a full
I just got- hardcover, and then you have your phone taped at the top of it for Subway Surfers.
Nice, good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, because you shouldn't read without Subway Surfers.
Yeah,
You should,
exactly. And then I got podcast one ear.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, good.
Corey, as the name says, there's something to be said for books that break the mold and redefine entire genres of literature. They may be weak in comparison to modern equivalents, but those equivalents wouldn't exist if not for the OG. And that's fine if you're like a literary historian, but I'm just saying for people who just like should practice reading so they can flex their reading muscle, I don't necessarily consider that to be the best use of their time.
We're not talking about learning literature.
Wuthering Heights also fucking sucked. I'm sorry. It sucks. It's not good. I didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. Again, it's like boring. It moves at a glacial pace, and it's a high cognitive load to read it because it uses kind of archaic English, and it was not enjoyable. I'm sorry. And you're not going to get anybody. This was a really good. I think I overheard this conversation, or no, it was relayed to me by Yvonne, and it came from one of. There's a kid that Yvonne and I both know who goes to a religious school. And basically, you can get some really interesting opinions on what kind of literature is okay to read from people who have their doctrine and their belief system and who are educators, and they can kind of end up prescribing a really restrictive diet of literary materials. And I was quite surprised, based on what I knew about this particular teacher from context, that what they basically said is the best thing for a kid to read is anything that kid will read.
Yeah. Yep.
Literally anything. I don't care. It
Yep.
can be witchcraft or Minecraft or... Did I say Minecraft
What
twice?
about more Minecraft?
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, it can be anything. Just make sure that they learn to bloody read. And so, I think if you go and you give kids like, I mean, I'll come back to my example. Okay. Oh, here's one. I loved The Secret World of Og by Pierre Burton when I was a kid. And I went and I tried to read it to my kids, and they just tuned the math out. Yeah. It was the language was not just maybe at a bit of a high level for what they were ready for at the time, so that was part of the problem. But not just that, but it was written in an older style, and they weren't engaged with it. And I could have insisted, but what would I have done? I would have just created a negative.
Yeah.
A negative
sucked.
reading experience. Why? Why are we doing this?
I never liked reading at all. I've always had problems with that type of stuff. I was really bad at spelling, all those types of things. My mom was trying to get me into it because it would have benefited me fairly obviously. And I don't think she had ever read it before, but she picked up The Hobbit. if I had to make a guess, she probably picked up The Hobbit because I liked like video games and fantasy games. And she's like, well, I don't know, let's just try this. And loved The Hobbit. She read The Hobbit to me, and I was super into it. And The Hobbit being so good, not the movies, if you're a youngin' who hasn't read, the movies sucked. The book was fantastic.
Yeah, the movies were just butt.
The Hobbit being so good drove me to want to read The Lord of the Rings. And that was really hard. Not just because of age, but reading
a step
ability.
up.
But the story was so good that I really enjoyed that. And then I got into the Harry Potter books, and then I started expanding beyond there. And now reading became like a thing for me. And despite it being hard, I would take like an entire Saturday and just chill and read. Because I'm like, this is great. I love these worlds that I'm disappearing into.
Man, I wish I had Saturdays like that as an adult.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Fox in a Box suggested SCPs, scary stories on the internet. Does it necessarily have to be a book? Can it be like fan fiction level stuff? I think
it being a book has value because you want
very
someone
long.
to... Yes. I think that has value.
I also think there's something to be said for it maintaining a certain bar of quality.
Consistent voice.
Like Yvonne has this app called Dream
Investment in character.
with an E at the end. And basically, it's like independent writers, and I think they get a commission from people like buying the next chapter of their stories and stuff like that. So like, it honestly seems like kind of pretty constructive
That's cool. Yeah.
for like amateur writers. But oh my god, like it's just full of like grammatical errors and typos and just like. It's written by people who've never read, so it'll be full of like homonyms that are just like you read it out loud and the sentence makes sense, but it's just wrong. I think there's something to be said for. I'm not saying that language isn't evolving and shouldn't evolve. It absolutely does, and it absolutely should. But in the same way that you don't get to take artistic license with a painting until you like understand fundamentally how to paint, you can't really take artistic license with language until you understand the basic structures and know how to use them. And in a lot of cases, you get carelessness disguised as creativity, and I think there's some value to consuming content that has been edited for clarity and correctness.
This is
What are you writing fan fictions in the Floatplane chat, Dan?
This is like the most classic, most famous one.
Is this a copy pasta?
No, this is a massive fan fiction based on Harry Potter, and
sure.
My Immortal is known very far and wide for being a work of non.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a joke.
No,
I've never read that before.
this makes it a lot better because it is actually,
so stupid.
unfortunately, sincere. It's like The Room kind of situation.
My name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway, and I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name, with purple streaks and red tips that reaches my mid-back and icy blue eyes like limpid tears. And a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee. And if you don't know who she is, get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
There's a lot of authors.
You can't get your name from your long ebony black hair
Yeah, that doesn't really work out.
because you were a baby.
You didn't have
You're
that.
an actual idiot. So anyway, there's that. Yeah.
Sick.
Internet historian apparently did a read of it. Okay.
Phenomenal video. Yeah, that's probably the best way to consume My Immortal.
Okay.
It sounds like it probably would
I was
be.
not expecting that to happen tonight. I am so sorry, the entirety of the internet. Oh boy. Lake Linus Dune. I'm working towards my doctorate in philosophy, aiming to work in tech. Do you think my time would be better spent in research and development or policy around implementation? Also, second role for SC Hoodie.
Probably no more SC hoodie. We do have a hoodie based on that pattern coming soon. You might like it. as for what you should be working on, I mean, policy around implementation seems like something someone with philosophy training should probably be working on with all this AI stuff going on.
Yeah.
But whether anyone's actually willing to pay you to do that when they'd rather just go in like a wrecking ball, I don't know. Good luck, though, and I hope you can make a positive difference in the world.
There are actually companies hiring that role.
Good. Well, they should.
Yeah. A lot of them
And
are
then,
doing
but then
it.
they should actually listen instead of just hiring the role and so that they can tick
a lot of
box.
them are doing it in order to try to improve their lobbying efforts.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, carry on.
Hi, I work in tech retail, and we get a lot of clients looking for the cheapest systems, not understanding or wanting to understand that they won't get the functionality they want. How do I explain it?
You won't be able to explain it. The way to handle it is be enthusiastic and be excited about the things that you know are going to actually make them happy. Take time to ask questions. It sounds like you're doing that, though. Like you've taken the time to understand what they want, the functionality they're after. And so you just have to improve your salesmanship. Be excited about the things that will work. Be extremely unexcited about the things that won't work. Warn them. Tell them you don't want them to waste their money, because buying something twice, even if it's only 2/3 of the price, costs more than buying something once that actually works and actually fulfills their needs. So you just have to kind of try to break it down and do your best. Every once in a while, someone's going to come in, they're going to have some kind of expectations, and what you got to do is you got to say, look, this isn't going to work for you, but it's clear that it's what you want and you can give it a try. Here's our return policy, and if you come back in, I'd be happy to chat with you and help you find something that works out better for you. But maybe you'll try it, and maybe from our conversation I've misunderstood exactly what it is that your expectations are, and it'll work just fine for you. Just leave the conversation open.
And let's see here. Last one I've got, LTT number 1, precision bits and PTM 7950. When?
I don't know. Logistics are a challenge. I saw someone in Floatplane chat earlier saying PTM 7950, it should be in stock. I mean, surely there couldn't be a shortage from Honeywell or whatever, but it's more of a logistics thing. We were really working on trimming down our stock on the store, and I think we kind of overswung the pendulum that way. And
too enthusiastic.
Yeah, we need to do a better job of just maintaining a little bit more stock of just the run rate items that people are after. Like
tall shirts.
Like tall shirts, yeah. I knew you were going with it. Are they all
like
just
these
out of stock?
The tall shirts?
Yeah. Oh no,
I think
we
the
have
smalls
small.
are in.
Yeah, we have small and we have nothing else.
For long sleeve, you have a few options.
Okay.
For short sleeve, it's only small. I have been tracking this often.
The microfiber shirt sold out. So I think we got the order quantity about right on that one, but we're gonna keep getting better at it. I think. I hope. We'll keep trying.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. We'll see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Bye.
Yep.
Oh.